Going down on the ones and twos, man. Happy Monday. This is the 704 Charlotte Bound Show, man. Hi to one, hi to all. Hope everybody's doing well out there, man, on another week that we were blessed to see. I got the whole crew in the house tonight. Coming to guys to bring you guys the off-season Panther discussion, as we always done. Look, man, just because the crowds are low don't mean that the discussion stops. Some people are all Panthers all the time. And, we're trying to show and provide for those who always want to see what's going on with the Panthers, always hear about their Panthers. We realize it's vacation time and people are down and out traveling and different things. But, our show is forever. You know what I'm saying? That's, you can always hit the play button when you're on the road and play it back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put it out there. Who's still up in here, man? Let's go ahead and get everybody up here. Up first, man, as always, my man Nick, the prowling veteran, is in the building.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
On another note, this guy from the show, a show edgewise, or a word edgewise. He said that you would change the show with my name, man. Make your fifth, with your 7th round pick sound like the first, something like that. The shenanigans and all that. We got Edge in the building.
It is called a word edgewise, and I can make your 5th to 7th round pick sound like a Pro Bowler if you catch my drift, if you know what I mean.
Word. That. And that's all we give you help for that shit. First lady of the show, man, Aries Claire. Kind of like the touchdown time boy, whatever you want to call her, you know what I'm saying? Put your skills up on it. Against her, you might lose, man. I got my money on her. It's Aries Claire.
Here come the shenanigans.
Well, you for sure losing. You definitely losing, though. You're going to take that L for a heavy loss.
You ever want to test your luck? Come on over here. We got Red Swarm in the building, man. Saying, what's up, yo? Happy
Look
Monday,
at that.
y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, look, we're going to definitely invite the guests on today. People
Happy High Yellow Day.
I was stingy last time. Look, man, late Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, bro.
Salute.
So I want to cut the music and say Happy Father's Day, late Father's Day to my man Edge and to my brother Nick. You know what I'm saying? These my brothers. This is my family, bro. And two great fathers. I wouldn't say they wasn't. They was if they wasn't, man. You know what I'm saying? Two guys, two family dedicated brothers. And shout out to all the guys out there who celebrated Father's Day. Red Swarm and all the other guys, Q from Black Cat and Popping Bullets and Gold and anybody from any show, man, that's got kids, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the guys. We come last, man,
Mm-hmm.
Women get the Phantom, and we get a grill and then told to cook right then, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it, though.
It's time to bring Father's Day back, man. It's got to be stronger,
You're asking the American people to do the impossible.
It's all right, man. I enjoy grilling. So if you buy me a grill and you tell me to grill, I'm having fun.
Oh, for real, I love grilling. Shit,
I get kicked away from the grill.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's our thing. We don't want y'all fucking with it.
No.
Step back.
At least we need to have one thing.
I didn't hear anyone complain when I did beer can chicken on his grill, but okay.
Hey, man.
Hey, look, beer can chicken is good.
We gotta let you touch it every now and then.
For real.
Can we have one thing? Can we have something?
I mean, if you must.
Man, they're trying to take our grill time.
Hell no. Can't be taking a grill.
I want it all, bro. What's going on in the Panthers world today? Hey, look, man, Claire, Edge, and Nick, man, they gonna be doing the show today. They came up with some great topics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a guest today, man, and I just look, I don't even want to. The topics are so great, I didn't want to touch it. So,
It's our world, Twan. You just living in it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you know, I'm with it.
That's what the daughter says.
Who
That's
wants to
what the
go
little one
first,
said.
man?
Honestly,
Shit.
I mean, unless he doesn't want to be in the hot seat, I'm intrigued the most by Nick's topic.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good with that. I'm good with that because I'm actually this is a very interesting topic. So
I don't remember whose topic is who. I'm gonna pick one, and
Okay.
then y'all just whoever it is, then you'll go with it. I'm gonna pick the one in the middle, right there.
That's Edge's topic.
Yeah.
there
Oh,
you go.
The subject is the Panthers coming of age in the wide receiver core. A young duo of Federal McMillan and Xavier Leggett, and what the team's future could look like with them moving forward. Could they be on the track of JJ and Addison or Chase and Higgins? Woo!
Let's see it first. Let's see it.
all right. So let me
Break
go
that down
ahead.
for us, bro.
So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for you. So on my way driving home from work, on Father's Day, perfect timing. I was listening. I just happened to I just happened to see Adam Thielen on the NFL radio, talking to one of the host guys, and he was talking about training camp. Basically stating the fact of, hey, our guys are going up, they're going good and going great. Then they got on the topic subject of the wide receivers. And the host brought up, he's like, he talked to Adam Thielen. He was like, hey, Adam, you're basically was a wide receiver that came from nowhere to make something out of nothing. What do you see from these wide receivers that you got? And you know how veteran guys are, especially the good ones. They praise their guys. They're like, hey, our guys doing great. They're doing this, they're doing that, and third. But what he said was also interesting. He was like, with XL, he's doing nothing but getting better and better as time goes on. You can definitely tell that he's not only has he improved himself, but he also is putting in the work where he needs to do, and having that difficult first year under his belt helped him a lot. And you can tell he's actually putting in the work and actually learning the plays, understanding what he needs to do and his assignments. Then they roll on to Tet. And he was like, look, Tet, he everything is natural. He's natural number one. He says out of all the guys he's been with and everything, and he's been with, the Justin Jeffersons of the world, the Stephon Diggs of the world. He's been there with those guys, trying to figure out, how those guys work as he was a veteran. He says that, hey, Tet, he's picking this up like he's been here before. Like you look at him in the room with all the wide receivers, it looks like he's been there. He's been doing this for years, even though he's a rookie. He says he's never seen a guy pick up the NFL like he has, and so that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, I see where he's going with this. And like I say, he's rolled with Justin Jefferson. He has Stephon Diggs. He's seen the up and downs with both of those. And I'm like, well, if that's the darn case, can this second year of these Carolina Panthers be an actual good one? Can this actually work out? Despite the fact of what we said about our quarterback, despite the fact of what the offense we've had, despite all that, can this duo actually work? I believe that it can.
Hey, remind me who said this? Who said this? Who was
Adam
questioning?
Thielen.
Okay.
Who was I forgot the guy's name, but the guy who was answering these questions was Adam Thielen. He was answering these questions, and this is what he was saying about our receiver duo. They didn't really get into the Jimmy Horn or the Hunter Renfro. He didn't get into all that. They was talking about the young guys, and they wanted to talk to him. Now, if he did talk about Jimmy Horn, I'm sorry, people, I didn't get that. But like I say, they brought up XL and T-Mac for a reason, because they were both number one picks. Duh. You bring those
first
guys
round
up.
picks?
Well, first round picks. So naturally you do bring those guys up. So it got me thinking, could this duo actually be a pretty damn good duo? I'm not saying we're gonna have a a T Higgins and Jamar Chase type deal or a AJ Brown and Devontae Smith type deal. But the way those two receivers coincide with their teams and what they have, could this actually work? I believe that it could. Despite the fact of what we have in the quarterback position room, and also despite the fact of what offense we run. If we run a Canales offense or we run a different type of style of offense, you know, could this actually work? I believe that it can. The only reason why I say I believe that it can because you got two different number one receivers. Let's just go ahead and throw this out there. We basically got two number ones, Ted and Excel. I know you guys are gonna. I know people in the chat and everything are throwing tomatoes at my head, disagreeing with me. Hear me out though. I believe we have two number ones because you got Excel, who's a big body guy who can catch a 50-50 ball, and then you got Ted, who in large aspect had one of the best numbers in college football. You know, he wasn't a Triple Crown winner, but he had some pretty damn good numbers. Now, of course, as you break the numbers down, you look deep into them. You're kind of like, I don't know. Overall, they had pretty good numbers. And I believe this team with these two guys can and will make this work.
What's your question, guys?
But here's the thing, though. Will Bryce Young make this work? Can Bryce Young do enough to get this team going? That is the real question. I believe that he can. I believe that he can do it. I believe it. Don't ask how. Don't ask why.
I'll respond first.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna take the Bryce Young out of it because we won't get caught on that subject.
Yeah.
I just want to see what Xavier and Tech can be. Opposed to comparing them to other duos. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put in I don't want them having any unwanted pressure to live up to something that they may or may not be. It has to be the right playbook. It's got to be the right calls. So yeah, they are dependent on the offensive coordinator, which is also the head coach, and Canales. I think Leggett is going. I think he's going to bounce back this year. I'm gonna be honest. And the more and more I think about Teteroa, I think this kid gonna be raw.
That's possible.
I think he's gonna be really good. I think he's gonna be really, really that good. It's so we can only go on highlights and things like that. But when I see the highlights, he's got a certain strut. He's just got a way he carries himself, like I do this, you know what I'm saying, without being cocky. And even if you want to be cocky, I mean, that's what wide receivers do. That's what makes them more, exciting players. I think he's gonna definitely be Himothy. I think it rubs off on Excel, and Excel, like they got like a competition going between each other. I want them to be them. And what they do, and when the numbers fall, then they will take a look at them and go, well, they did that, but I don't want to be like, if they don't do Chase and Higgins numbers, you know what I'm saying, to the T, then like it's an unsuccessful year for them. As long as they dominate in what they do and we getting wins and can possibly get to the playoffs, you know what I'm saying. I won't get too tied up into the comparisons. I think they're gonna be what they are.
Yeah.
I think they have potential to be very good. I think Canales' play calling has got to step up. His playbook has got to step up. He's got to be able to put them in position to win. With that O-line that we got, they'll be straight. I mean, but that even although that benefits more with the running backs, but it gives Bryce Young the time to throw the ball, you know what I'm saying? only thing I'm gonna say about Bryce, I'm gonna leave it alone. He's fresh out of excuses. He had every weapon he needs.
Mhm.
So
I
the wide
agree.
Yep.
receivers
Yep.
are to get open, So then it's on them. If they're getting open and the ball is coming late or sloppy or intercepted,
Or early.
or do we know what we got to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think those
Yeah. And we
guys is
have to
gonna
do
be
that.
the next Tech and Excel. They don't gotta be nobody else. So I think they could be in a position where people are chasing them if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
we know what comes with it. We know what comes with it. But it's just terms of just the wide receivers. That's what I say.
yeah, and also you got to look, and also you got to look at it like this: having two guys who are like that. I mean, it's going to force defenses, especially not only just defense, but defensive coordinators, to have to game plan. Now they have to be like, okay, if we shift the stuff over here to Excel, but we got to make sure we got to make sure we got to make sure that tech can't do nothing with it. So it's like a two-headed monster. Hey, whatever side you cover, somebody's gonna do something. Somebody is going to do something.
The
Like
thing that
for
I left
example,
out, hold on. Also is
mhm,
this. When you got a guy like Renfro on your team who just gets open.
Mm-hmm.
He just
mhm,
knows how to get open. And then you got Thielen, you got two veterans on the team that know how to get open. Bro, that's only gonna help them two out. But we got a plethora.
yeah,
We got riches at wide receiver, bro. So,
Mhm.
we'll have to
But
get into a discussion one day where it's like,
we
damn,
got a
bro, who's
good problem.
the team, bro? It's a good problem though.
This is
It's
one.
a
Hey,
real
look, this is
problem.
the first time in a long time where we can say a room
Problem.
is a room is a good problem.
Yeah.
yes,
So I think them dudes is gonna feed off of each other. It's just like, man, look, defense DBs on other teams gonna be like,
Let me,
man, can't really sleep on none of these dudes that come
yeah.
out.
Let me get in on this though,
and you
Twan. Let me
can't
get in.
go ahead, Doc.
So I've been scouring the internet. I mean, not even gonna say scouring the internet. I've been listening to a lot of NFL radio and all that kind of stuff like that. And I mean, this is actually a really good question from Edge, because one of the ones that I heard yesterday, like they literally said exactly what you basically saying. I mean, the dude gave obviously a too early prediction of what would go down with Carolina, and the crazy part about it is that what he said would go down with Carolina is that he said freaking he thinks T Mac's gonna bust 1,000, and he said XL had 800, and they said the craziest part about it is he said your boy threw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, but but he did say that he said we fall short from the playoffs and we end up in the season at 9-8, but hey, I wouldn't. I would be happy to go into an off season 9-8, and we've seen that growth in those type of players. So I
Yeah,
mean, I totally get what you're saying. Um, I totally get what 100% get what you're saying, and I mean, all we can do is hope that that's how it turns out. But I do see that we could probably have a two-headed monster that might be cause people a lot of trouble.
yeah, yeah. And you also got to look at the fact like this. Yeah, you got them two guys who are 1 and 2, but then you also got to worry about what Chuba has done from last season to this season, and then you got
Yeah,
to also add into the fact what Rico Dabo did from from last year on a different team.
yeah. So
So we
I
got
mean, all
all
the
these factors coming in to one damn team, and then they
yeah,
already know what our
yeah,
offensive line is. They already know our
yeah.
offensive line is
Yeah,
good.
the dude basically said we was gonna put up like 6,000 yards of offense.
I,
That's basically what he said, because he had Chuba at 1,200 yards too.
Hey,
bruh,
look, if Chuba goes off for 1,200 and the Rico Dabo adds on 7, 8, 900 yards,
That's what the dude basically was saying. It was an early
I
prediction,
mean,
obviously. That'd be
it's gonna
crazy.
be crazy.
before Claire goes, I want to ask Claire a question. It's to all
Mm-hmm.
of y'all, but I'm asking her to segue her in.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last quarterback that had 2,000-yard backs? The guys that we have at wide receiver, one of the highest paid lines, with the highest paid line in the NFL. Look, like probably two of them guys, if not three of those guys in that line, can make the Pro Bowl this year. It ain't just Bryce. When was the last time a quarterback had all of that?
Never. Maybe. Not that I'm aware of. And if it's ever happened,
You talking about
when
all
would
of that?
that happen?
You talking about in a Carolina Panther uniform?
Or just
Period.
ever.
At one time.
I mean,
So
I
I
think
mean the closest. So here's the closest. And forgive me because I'm trying to learn to be more of a student about the NFL and NFL history because I've focused so much on the Panthers. But I think the last time that I can recall anything, and because I remember it being a big deal, this would have been either in 2019, 2020, and it wasn't two running backs, but it was when Lamar Jackson and who was his running back? Mark Ingram or no? No.
It was
Somebody.
Ingram that year. It was Ingram that year because when the
Okay,
Ingram,
and they both had both. I mean, it wasn't two running backs, but it was a quarterback with 1,000 and a running back with 1,000. So to answer your question, I guess nobody, Twan, but that's the closest. I don't know when that was. It was like between 2018 and 2020, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was saying Patrick Mahomes was probably the one that had that closest to it.
I think the closest you're gonna get to it.
You said, and he had the line that we had, and he had the receivers that we got.
Well, Lamar, if you ask any Ravens fan, they'll tell you Lamar has never had really good receivers up until fairly recently. So,
all of this.
Yeah. So then,
all of this.
Well, then to answer your question,
we actually have a good problem. We got a good problem right now.
we do. So I'm going to kind of hit back on what Nick was saying. A while back, I did a projection. I won't call it a chart, but I just pretty much took notes on projections. That were generated by I know it's a projection that also does like fantasy projections, but they also do stat projections as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's like not Stat Muse, something like that. But either way, they did. I put in projections. I just put in. You just ask them, like, you just put in a player's name, and it kind of provides you a rough projection of what they think based off of either college production or production in recent years. Nick was saying that who he was talking about put Tet with over 1,000 yards receiving but so many touchdowns, and this came close. It was 1,009 receiving yards, and I think it was 11 receiving touchdowns, and then XL was right behind him with 800, and I think they said 856 yards or something like that, and 8 touchdowns. So I mean,
so can you
it's one of those. I do like Edge's topic. I will say this though, with like Twan, I'm not going to want to throw them in that Jamar Chase Higgins pool yet. And it's not that I don't, want to ever put them in that pool. It's that I would just love for both of them to become their own version of what that is here. Yeah. And that would be nothing short of phenomenal. And that's regardless of who's throwing them the ball. That's regardless of who's calling the plays. Just them being able to function like a well-oiled machine because they've got great communication. They're able to feed off of each other. I know early on, for as far as like Bryce Young goes, he was interviewed earlier on. I think this might have been OTAs or something, or mini camp, something where he was interviewed, and he touched on, they asked him about Xavier Legette, and one of the things that Bryce did touch on with him was, he did make the statement of, what we all noticed as a team, or especially as an offense, that Legette lost about halfway through the season was he quit smiling and he looked like he wasn't having fun anymore. He's got all that back. They're like, he's smiling in practice. He's definitely he has like more of that vibe that you're wanting him to have, as a guy wanting to, come back and focus on being productive after getting healthy in the off season. Amongst doing many other things in the off season, my God, he kept himself busy. But he said he's smiling now. And he said that something that he also noticed is in that receiver room, Leggett is starting to kind of, in the most, I guess you could say, rudimentary sense, starting to take over a leadership role, and where Leggett was even calling out guys on the line as they were lining up before a play, and he would help them with like making adjustments, or if there was an audible type simulation going on, he was being vocal across the entire core and across the entire line. So trying to assert himself and take charge, which is something you want out of a second year guy. So hearing Bryce Young talk about that, good thing. I hope that sets up for a good relationship between him and Tataroa, him and Jimmy, him and Adam, all of these guys working together to just improve this wide receiver core moving forward. So I'm not going to ask them to be JJ and Jordan Addison. I would prefer for them to just become whatever the best version of XL and T-Mac looks like.
Absolutely. Let me shout out some people in the chat real quick, man. Shout out to Supernova Moore up in the building. We got Alonzo Sampson in the building as well. Nick Tri-State in the building. Mello the Great 13 is in the building. Relax and Talk Sports is in the building. Brother JP is up in here, man, doing this thing. Again, Nick Tri-State up here. And now in the building live, Red Swarm has made it into the building. What's going on, bro?
Yo.
What's going on?
What's happening, y'all? What's up? Good Monday afternoon to everybody.
Been a minute.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
How you feeling, bro? How's everything going on with you and the fam, bro?
I'm doing good, Greek. Everybody is well, man. Everybody is healthy and sane, and we're glad for it, man. So,
yeah, bro.
Y'all pulled up just in time to give you an answer to your question. I know y'all were struggling with that, trying to find history long ago, but I would draw y'all's attention to a more recent history in the Atlanta Falcons with that high power offense with two.
But your offensive, I agree with you with the running backs.
Just go on and interrupt me then.
I agree. I just want to say this. I agree with you with the running backs, but I don't believe your offensive line.
So
let him finish.
Let me finish, and then try your best, Nick. 2 1,000-yard running backs, as Twan said, a 1,000-yard tight end, a 1,400-yard wide receiver, a second wide receiver at 990 yards, third wide receiver with 600 yards. Let me see. Top 10 in recent history as high as top 3 offensive line. So I don't know what the fuck Nick talking about. But the premier right guard in the NFL. Now, what were you saying again, Nick?
Nah, I mean, look, as much as I want to argue with him, he's right. I'm looking at it.
He said the premier right guard.
The only thing,
I think that's what I said.
The only thing I'll argue, and I'm not even going to pick a fight, is I think collectively, I get what you're saying, Red, but I think what Twan was alluding to was all at once. At any one time, so Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards last year?
No, not last year, but I'm saying on a roster at the same time.
Okay, because I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, what happened last year that I missed?
No.
I'm like, I know I didn't pay much attention to the Falcons unless they were playing us, but my God, I figured that would have made news everywhere if all this was going on.
I took him to mean on a roster at one time because
I got you, Red.
As far as I can recall, Ted McMillan hasn't gained a yard in the NFL yet, but we're talking about his potential.
Correct.
But I'm just saying on a roster at one time.
Right. No, I follow.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna say that, we might as well say San Francisco too.
And the Cowboys.
Well, you can do that, but I just said it's happened a few times. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you also got.
I wasn't arguing with y'all. I wasn't arguing with Twan.
I wasn't arguing with you either.
I was trying to help answer the question, black ass Nick.
Listen. Don't start with me. You didn't argue.
No, you started.
Listen.
I'm just gonna
Don't
make
start
sure,
with me.
I'm gonna make
Don't
sure
start
we
with
keep
me
it
because
popping. You started though.
we've been on good terms because I had to put people in their place because they was going crazy.
Wait a minute.
I don't
Wait a
even want to
minute.
know.
Wait.
I don't even want
Wait
to
a
know.
minute.
We're about
I'm
to.
not-
See,
We're about
I'm not
to
even
look.
here.
No,
Look, Nick. Oh, look, Pettyville is only big enough for one person. You encroaching on my street. Stop it.
Yes. Try as I might, Twan. I pulled up here nice Greek. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I
I
couldn't
was
even
saying no.
answer
I
your
said I was saying I
question.
was on your side.
I could, but you also said you had essentially what you said was you came to my rescue, bruh.
I mean, I
I
didn't
don't
really
look
have to come
nothing
to
like
your.
no
I knew you was
damsel
gonna get
in
them, but
I don't look nothing like no damsel. I don't look nothing like no damsel in distress. My
Yeah,
name
you
is
right.
Conan the Barbarian.
I don't know about
You
that
can
part,
believe
but
that
yeah.
shit right there. I don't need no help.
I don't know about
For
that
real.
part, but okay.
I don't need
I
no
don't know
help.
about that part either.
I don't
I
need no
am
help
not
doing what I
gonna
do.
ask.
Claire was saying it correctly. I was making that point in terms of
All at once.
in terms of Bryce Young having all like it's really put more heat on him because
Oh
And
yeah,
it should.
he ain't got
Oh
a
yeah,
choice but to
it's
perform now.
Red
It's
didn't
those
set it on. Red didn't set it on multiple shows.
man.
He
no,
got
Bryce
it.
can't handle that.
I'm
Bryce
talking about with
can't do
all
nothing
the
with that.
weapons this dude got. It ain't no more. Well, we gonna give him one more year, and he's in a year where he's trying to get paid.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Is he though?
Claire, let's be 100% honest, Claire. I want to say this, and I am on your team. I'm on your team saying it is too early to pay him.
No,
It's too early to pay
it's
him.
def-
But
it's
what I am also, I am very realistic, Claire. If he goes out here and has a phenomenal season this year, I will honestly say that they will probably waver at paying him before the price goes over $60 million.
and you know
Isn't
the
it
price
already over 60 million?
No, it is not yet.
Didn't an old boy finally
old
who is
boy
it
got
got
60.
somebody
That got 60, but at the end of the day, the contracts that came after
Here-
that were below.
so but here's he ain't get that's not even like we're not gonna have this conversation tonight. I will have a stroke and die from the heart attack of the stress talking about this young fool.
Me too. If he got that type, bruh, I'm sorry, I might retire. I might be known as a Panther, bro.
I will actually find a lonely spot
and hey, ask them if they got a roster spot for me, bro. Because
I will find a lonely spot out in the middle of nowhere and literally create a town called Pettyville, USA, and just live there. You ain't finding me nowhere.
You know what? I'm tired of the narrative that quarterback. Every quarterback in the NFL is not Superman, so every quarterback in the NFL can't carry a team.
No,
look at Jared Goff can't carry that team. Oh shoot, we didn't even think about that team.
No, but I think that there are QBs that do thrive because of a system, and I'm not going to fault them for that.
Yes, and that's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to fault because I think Baker Mayfield is another one of those.
Yep.
And I'm not saying, and that's not a knock on his talent, but I do believe he's a system quarterback.
Yeah.
There go Nick. Calling numbers again. You know, comparing, making comparisons.
But Red.
I don't think Bryce Young is a system. Bryce Young is an anomaly.
No, I'm not calling.
That is the nicest thing I can say about him.
I'm not making a comparison, Red. I'm not making a comparison. What I'm saying is, we have this fallacy that we're not supposed to put all this stuff around. Have to put all this stuff around the quarterback.
Well, no. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, no. See, but here's the thing though, and it's like what I said before when I looked at this team a little differently. You know, yeah, Bryce Young is a number one overall pick and everything, and you know you got to put talent around him no matter if he's that damn good or not. You kind of have to because you got to put something in front of him in order for him to win. Now it's up to him and his talent skills to actually do
Use
what he
that
needs to
talent.
do.
Use that talent around
If
him.
he can't use that talent, then either the offense needs to change up, or B, he got to go because he just can't get it done.
I'm here to tell y'all right now. If Dave Canales doesn't want to lose that locker room, he ain't changing that offense.
No, he's not. And no, he's not going to.
Can I
He's
say
not going to
something
change
to
that
y'all
offense.
respectfully that I
Go ahead.
hope that y'all can kind of sort of
Wrap our
relate
heads
to?
around.
Before you do that,
yeah. Go ahead. My bad, Twan.
Let me get my guy in here.
No, send his ass back to the
JP.
Raptors.
JP in the
What
building.
JP.
What's up, everybody?
What's
good?
up?
JP, now don't come after my head. Could I say some shit that's true? Don't come after my head now.
No, JP
I'm
came to
coming.
talk. Yeah, I know JP came to talk shit to me.
No, I came in here to talk about this bullshit damn black ass Nick talking about.
Listen.
I came to
Let's
sit that
Let
shit
me get
down.
Swarm get his point out. Let me get Swarm.
let Red say what he got.
So and I'll be quick with this. I just personally this discussion about Jared Goff and people like that and the cadre of players around them. Let me just give y'all a example of what I talk about when I say you can put all the talent you want around a quarterback. If it's not the right quarterback, he won't get the best out of it. And this is
That
my
was the
case in
point
point.
I was trying to make. That Swarm hit it on the
Exhibit A.
nail right there.
That's true.
Exhibit A. Desmond Ridder had essentially the same talent that Kirk Cousins had in the Falcons offense minus Darnell Mooney. You know what Desmond Ridder got out of that offense in 15 games?
Nothing.
2,836. You know what Kirk Cousins got out of that same offense in 14 games, one game less? Almost 1,000 yards more production.
Well, that's because Desmond Ridder was a bum.
That's
and
because
Kirk Cousins was a lot better than.
y'all's offense would be a lot more potent if Jordan
Red.
Love was running it.
But you know, Kirk Cousins
You
is
ain't
way
wrong,
better
Red.
than
You
Ridder.
ain't wrong about that.
That's
Red.
the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, Red. This is what I'm saying. Everybody can't be Jordan Love. Everybody can't be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody can't.
So the question for me is, what is Michael Penix? And the question for you is, what is Bryce Young with all that talent?
Facts.
I don't know what Michael Penix is.
We don't know.
I don't know.
And this is why I can't wait to get to my topic.
Yeah,
But
this
keep
is
going.
why we're talking about it because it's like a pre-prediction. Like me and Red are saying, like Bryce. Look, if you have, I'm not. It's not just a Bryce thing. It's a quarterback period. I mean, okay. So quickly, what was the last quarterback that was trash for 4 straight years and he started his 5th?
I can't think of none.
None.
I can't either, Twan. That's a damn.
You really
question.
can't. You can't think. You can't really think of. It's only so many you can say for 3 years that was trash, and they started in their 4th.
Teams don't wait
because
that
the NFL don't wait that long. The NFL
Daniel Jones might be the only one.
Daniel Jones, yeah.
But New York, but the Giants crippled themselves by doing what to Daniel Jones? By paying him.
Yep. And that was the key, Twan. They saddled themselves to them, and it was painful when they had to let it go. They had to eat that damn.
You know who else? Swarm, you know who else just did it, and they're gonna find out in the near future? Jacksonville.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's.
Oh,
let me shut up. let me shut up.
Hey, but listen,
I'm gonna shut up.
hey, look, Daniel Jones.
Before you get started, let me go ahead and bring another guest on to the show real quick. Look, man, long time no see. It's great to see the crew back together again, man. Let me say that first. We got the Try-to-Cast in the house. Nick Tri-State in the building, man. What's going on?
What's the word? What's the word? How are you doing, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
Chilling.
Good, baby.
Yeah.
How you been? I seen the link drop. I'm over here working. I seen the link drop. I said I got to take my 15. Sorry, y'all.
There you go, bro.
Well,
there you go.
Talk some Panther football.
And Nick, before you go, Red.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Now
Edge.
I know you brought the whole 2,000 some yards what Desmond Ritter did, but here's the thing though that people are gonna shit there and argue with. Well, Jalen Hurts had 2,000 some yards and he won the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. And he had all this talent. He had a great offensive line. He had a dominant running back. He had 2 number 1 receivers.
But he won't
He had a
shit.
good tight end and he had a dominant defense, but he only got 2,000 some yards and he won the Super Bowl. So what makes Jalen Hurts different from Desmond Ritter when Desmond Ritter got 2,000 yards? People are going to bring that point up though.
It's the team. It's
Because
the
They
team.
ain't
this
gonna
is the
bring it up with
team.
me.
It's the
Ain't
whole
gonna
team,
bring it
No.
up.
Listen, and that's what.
understand that, but people are going to bring that. People are going to
Bring that up.
part
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I feel you.
No,
But
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 it's
it's
Edge,
not
they're not going to
valid.
bring it up. They're
You
not going
could
to bring
bring
it
it
up
up,
that
but
for
it's
is
not
valid.
valid. It's not
That is
valid.
valid. That is valid.
No, it's not
That
because
is
Jalen
valid.
Hurts. Jalen.
That
The play calling,
Hold on. That
the play
Eagles
calling,
team.
and all that shit matters, bro.
The Eagles
They didn't make
team. If you look at that team, bro, they've built. And I'm emphasizing built because they've drafted a lot of all those stars on the team. They've drafted. So big kudos to Howie Roseman, bro. They have a damn near super team, bro. They have
But
an
they
elite
did.
O line. They have elite
Mhm.
weapons. They have an elite
Mhm.
defense. They have an elite pass rush. They have an elite secondary. There's no weakness on that team.
But Nick,
Whereas
So
when Atlanta had Desmond Ritter, there were still.
yeah.
I think Red could even agree to this. There were
Best,
weaknesses
the
on
best,
that team still, starting with
and
the
the
to
best,
quarterback.
and Edge,
well, oh, if
best
we
player.
doing it
and
in that
to
phase, then that.
Edge, to respond to your question directly, what I would say to that is, in each of the 3 preceding seasons, um, Jalen Hurts was over 3,000 yards. The year immediately before, in 2023, when they did not even make it to the Super Bowl, he had 3,858 yards, just shy of 4,000
Wow.
yards.
Wow.
Yes,
He
he
had
did.
2,903 in the Super Bowl year,
Yep.
just shy of 3,000 yards. What I would say to them, whether they accept it or not, is that he did what the offense called for to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they had a dominant running game, and then you add his dimension of running the football too. They made that run game is like unstoppable.
That's just the way I would
realistically.
answer it. That's just the way I would answer. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but basically what I would point them to is the eye test. He didn't do no more or no less than what was needed
Then what
to
was
win a
needed?
Super
You're right.
Bowl.
You're
Yeah,
right.
Swarm. Here's my
At the
thing
end
to
of the
that,
day,
Swarm.
at the end of the day, I'm glad to have the debate with them over a team that just won the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, but
they're gonna lose
Swarm,
every time.
Swarm. You know what's crazy, Swarm? And I know you've heard this across Panthers podcast. You hear people throw out, "Oh, he doesn't throw for 4,000 yards." But you just sat here and gave us stats. Jalen Hurts threw for 3,800. They didn't go to the playoffs. He almost threw for 1,000 yards less.
Yep.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So all that, he ain't throwing for 4. That shit don't matter. It don't really matter.
Listen. This is what pissed me off about that.
When you got an all-around team and everybody's playing their part, it ain't required that everybody be a superstar.
Yeah,
we're saying that right now in the NBA Finals right now, man.
Yeah,
you don't have to have a bunch of superstars on your team if everybody's playing their part to the highest level. But look, I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget Black Ass Neck because JP came in to get on your ass.
Yeah.
I want to give him the opportunity to do that.
Go ahead and say what you got to say, JP. Go ahead.
But I was just gonna piggyback off of what Nick was saying when he brought up Desmond Ritter and Kirk Cousins in the same office and this, that, and the third or whatever. That's exactly what my point was. Every quarterback is not gonna get the most out of the talent that's around them.
And that's when you get rid of that damn quarterback.
Well, listen, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, JP. The fallacy. I don't know what fallacy land.
He ain't done.
No,
I'm just saying, people in Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts and those type of quarterbacks of this and the third. Which freaking daggum team in the whole entire nation, in the whole entire league right now, has 4 of their best defensive players under rookie contracts right now outside of Philly?
You're right.
Yeah.
Ain't going
You know the bad part about this? They're not even about to keep all them dudes. They just gonna keep the best one out of them, and he's gonna just keep drafting.
Yeah.
That's the position you want to be in, though. That's the position you want to be in.
Jalen Carter about to get a fat ass contract.
That's what dynasties are made of.
He about to get a fat contract.
Yeah.
They're gonna be Trump tight, gonna be pretty thin once they got to start paying everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Hurts, he's a product of them drafting very well.
Yeah, they draft really well though.
Exactly. We don't have
Yeah,
the
Philly does
luxury.
draft well, man. They really fucking draft well, man.
Hey, listen, but that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this year was the
A
starting of
turnaround year. Yep.
drafting well, man. I understand that Carolina's history with drafting has been horrible. I understand that. I can't name. I can't. Is there other than Derek Brown and J.C. Horn over the last 5 drafts? Is there even 5 or 6 drafts? Is there even a player that's still on the roster
No,
Chuba,
That's on the
other than them two?
defense? Or
that's
Oh,
you
on
just
the
on the
Yeah.
that's
defense
the
or the
whole
whole team?
Chuba,
Cuba.
defense.
Chuba,
Tommy,
Icky,
Brady
They all
Christensen, Icky,
Bryce.
Cade Mays.
Well, we're talking,
The ones that
but we're talking about
okay, so
defense.
ones that we covet,
What do you mean covet? What?
the ones
We
that we
talking about
like,
Like cornerstone pieces in a sense.
just name
cornerstone pieces.
So
JC.
so Chuba, maybe
Chuba's a
JC
cornerstone
and
piece.
Derek
Bryce
Brown.
Young.
Icky,
Bryce
they're
Young.
looking at Icky as a cornerstone piece too.
I don't
Red,
know about that, man. We going.
red,
I think they. I don't
I'm
think they
sorry.
looking at
I'm sorry,
Icky.
Claire.
I don't think they looking at Icky
I'm
as a
red.
sorry about
cornerstone
that, Claire.
piece. I
Icky
think they
gonna get a
looking at.
contract, bro. I'm telling you, he's
Yeah.
gonna get a contract. He's probably
So
gonna get paid
so
before
basically, what you
Bryce.
telling me is that
Softly.
Icky
I'm
gonna go off this.
sorry, AC.
You telling me Icky gonna go off this year?
He could.
What
I
Red
have
say?
faith
Good.
in Icky. I
What
have
Red
faith in
say?
Icky.
Ah,
Don't worry about it, Nick. I ain't gonna repeat it. It's
I
Red,
Say
have
okay.
it
It's
again.
okay. No,
Red,
Say it
AC told
again.
me it's okay. No, I'm not. AC already
Icky,
warned me.
it,
He
yeah,
already
Icky
warned me.
shows
I'm
up
Sticky
not
in,
saying
Icky?
it again.
Sticky
Say it
Icky?
with your chest.
yeah. He ain't
Red
sticky.
calling him Sticky
He's
Icky?
definitely not sticky, but look, Icky, it, Icky only has to work on his pass coverage, bro.
oh
Only has
He's
to
his
work
great
on
in
run
the
it.
run game. I agree,
his
Twan.
run
He's
is
great in the
great.
run
His
game.
run game is phenomenal.
Hey,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
look, I don't think that what I think that I am on the same train that y'all are that Bryce Young shouldn't get paid this year. I'm
No,
100% on
no, he
that
better
same
not.
train with you. But
No.
the thing
Uh,
about it is if Bryce magic, and I know what you're gonna say, JP. If Bryce magically goes out here and throws for over 4,000 yards,
that's
Nope.
not gonna happen.
I know you're gonna say, I know you what JP gonna say is it's gonna be the talent that's around him.
But it can be. It can be.
But
It can be two things at the same time.
It can be
yeah.
two things at the same time, but at the end of the day, what is the front office going to think? And I
But
don't think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to overreact.
But Nick,
But
I think this all needs to be put into context here, because if he throws for 4,000 yards and we don't even have a winning season, is your argument even valid at that point?
Exactly. It's AC's right. The context on that, if we're down in a lot of games and it's garbage time and he's getting
It's
120
not going
yards
to
in the
matter.
fourth quarter, it's not going to matter. Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't. I don't. I get that for that portion of it. I just don't think. I'm just saying is just a hypothetical. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not going to. I'm not saying is
Oh, even
he isn't.
projections aren't
No,
even
but like I
kissing
want to
4,000
let me make
yards.
one quick
Huh?
point before I got to go back in. I've seen so many games with so many quarterbacks. They'll, for example, have 140 yards passing through 3 quarters, be down 2-3 touchdowns. The defense goes into prevent mode. They get the same amount of they get 140 yards in the fourth quarter, and then at the end of the game, it looks like, oh, he had a good game, when in reality he didn't. You know what I mean? I've seen it happen so many times.
No, I agree with that. I wasn't saying I
Yeah.
wasn't fighting against that. I wasn't fighting against that.
No,
I
but I'm just piggybacking off what AC said. Like, if he throws for 4,000 yards, I need context behind it. Were we down in all those games and he's just hucking it
Yeah,
because we're
of course, you
losing?
need
You know what I
context.
mean?
every
So
game is a good game if you win it. Every
yeah,
game is a good game if you win it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll
You can
always
throw.
take the W.
Oh, well, no.
You can
Bryce could
throw
throw for 98 yards every
yeah,
game next year. If we win, I don't give a damn.
yeah, you can throw for 400 yards, and did you win though?
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of my point, because if we're solely basing it on just what Bryce Young can accumulate stat wise, but at the end of it, we're only winning 5 to 7 games that year, I'm not paying him.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
But
not
not.
either.
that's not what I'm saying, Claire.
Bryce has not
I'm not
warranted
either.
an extension. For him to warrant an extension after this season, we would
He
have to go
got,
to we'd have to go to the NFC Championship game. And
I,
he
as
got
much as I
No.
love my
absolutely.
Panthers, I don't see that happening.
I
No,
don't.
he
I
I
got
don't see
don't.
that
absolutely
happening.
I
blackballed this year.
don't think we got to go that high. I don't
Yeah,
think
you
we got to
do.
go
wait,
that high.
If
so
we
we're
make it
saying
to the
win
playoffs
the
and we go,
division.
let's say 10-7, win the division, I wouldn't pay Bryce. He has to prove it again. Just like they made JC prove it, you got to prove it. You
Yeah,
got to prove.
I get what you're saying, Nick, but
Mhm.
I'm also in tune with what the numbers are and where the numbers are going.
Yeah,
JP just put
winning in the NFL, winning in the
JP just put them
NFL,
numbers in the
winning in the
chat.
NFL. I know we as fans, we like to talk about what we want and what we think and what should happen. And before this happens, winning in the NFL is difficult. I would say,
It's hard, bro.
Sure
It is
is,
difficult.
Red. You
I
I
ain't
would
agree with
lying
say
you.
there, dog.
if
Shit,
a
college too.
quarterback leads a team, if a quarterback leads a team to a division championship and a playoff berth, he stands a damn good chance of getting a significant contract in the NFL.
And that's
A
what I'm
damn
saying.
good chance.
That's
Yep.
what I'm saying.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
To a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying Bryce just magically gets 4,000 yards and we 5-7. No, I mean
12.
12,
12.
12.
5-12. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Oh, it
there is
could
a
happen.
significant jump in wins, and we may at least make it to the playoffs. And he puts up crazy numbers. I don't see them not paying him. I don't see it. I'm looking.
It's some fuckery going on in the chat, man.
What's going on?
It won't. Hey, so tell Kitty to get in here. It won't be no damn sausage party.
Yeah, you know how Kitty is,
We
man.
need a few more females in here for it to not be two to six is still a sausage party.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, then get in here. Then. JP, bro.
JP. Oh,
Hey.
I'm yelling like he gonna hear me and come back.
Well, JP be getting ahead and just leaving, man.
Listen.
Y'all know how JP do.
Well, we gotta go to one of these other topics too. Let's get it, man. This is fun. That was a good topic.
What's funny is we kind of derailed and quit talking about the wide receivers.
Bro, I didn't want to talk about the damn Bryce, but it's impossible. He's
our quarterback. It's gonna happen.
You gotta talk about him. I mean,
hey, can I ask
especially
y'all?
with the
And I know
receiver
y'all
thing.
want to move on, but I wanted to sort of chime in on this wide receiver discussion because I've been hearing it. I've been hearing and Poppin has been there. I think Nick has been it. I'll lend my part to the discussion, even debate if we want to turn it to that. But I'm failing to see what I keep hearing this. Somebody used the term elite earlier today when they described y'all's wide receiver room.
I wouldn't go that far.
It wasn't
nobody
us.
said
No, I know it
elite
wasn't
today.
any of y'all. I know it wasn't any of y'all.
We don't know if it's elite.
Swarm, the best way to phrase our wide
yeah.
receiving room is unproven. High potential, but unproven. Besides stealing, no one's proven.
Low floor,
Nick,
high ceiling.
let me go a little bit deeper with you. You say high potential.
Yes. I think Tet and XL have pretty high, and Coker have pretty high potential, but potential don't mean nothing if you don't put it all together. We've seen plenty of players come into the NFL with high potential and didn't amount to shit. So potential don't mean nothing if you're not working hard and in your craft and becoming better. I think it's not fair. It's definitely. I want to say Swarm. Because I gotta bounce back to work. But I think it's unfair to say the Panthers wide receiver core is better than the Falcons. I think it's unfair to say that because you can't say that. You can't. If you want to say you can be, sure, but right now, no way can you say.
So when you say high potential, I'm just curious. You say, all right, let me just grab one name out in particular. You said Coker, right?
Yeah.
An undrafted free agent.
I didn't say Coker. I wish you didn't say Coker.
Because you said
I wish you didn't say Coker because all you're doing is giving Red ammunition, bro.
Yeah.
I don't see Coker, bro. I really don't.
And because I want to ask Nick.
Kitty in the building.
Oh, my bad.
What up, Kitty?
Can we not talk about Bryce today and ruin my birthday?
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! My bad.
Kitty.
We're gonna try our damnedest, Kitty. But I'm here to tell you, until that little fool is not on this team, it's kind of hard to not talk about him.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard as shit.
Speaking of Bryce, I thought shit was soft.
Listen. I'm not gonna let you take the weakest. I'm not gonna let you take the weakest link and tear it up, Red.
Well, okay.
what he
Tell
meant
me,
is,
tell me,
so think
tell
about
me.
this. So
Okay,
how about
so
this?
not
How about this
Coker,
one? I
not
got one
Coker,
for you,
because
Red. I got one for you.
Twan says he don't want to do that. Just take XL for me then,
No,
right?
let's not take XL.
Take XL or
I'll
Jimmy
still take
Horn
somebody
or
below
Jimmy
right now.
Horn or Jimmy Horn, who still has to make the 6 or 7 that y'all take. But tell me, when he says high potential, what's the height of his potential? Put it in terms of wide receivers in the NFL. Top 25, top 32, top 40, top what?
What do
Top
you
10?
why you listen? The high potential is the fact that we have a room full of wide receivers. That's the high potential.
Every
We
NFL team has a room full of wide
not
receivers.
No,
listen.
not the way we have.
Not the way that we have wide
That's
receivers
what I'm
right now.
asking y'all to explain it to me.
Because we have
Okay, I can.
we have XL in Tech, who we are hopefully both of them are going to take both of them. Well, one, we hope Tech's going to be really good, and we hope that XL is
Hey,
going to
before
take a
you
step
get to the
forward.
Swarm, I gotta respectfully say that we don't know yet, Swarm, and leave it at that.
Okay,
Yeah, Twan, I know that, but Nick
Yeah.
is trying. So he's saying
Yeah.
XL and Ted is something different than the kid that
They can
Tampa
be.
Bay had last year, who played really well, and they just drafted Emeka Buka. So tell me why other teams don't have talent.
I'm
We're
not
not
saying
saying that
other
we
teams.
don't have
We're not
talent.
saying other teams don't have talent. This
Tell
is
me how
what
your
you're
wide
not saying.
receiver room
We
is
also have Hunter
outstanding. Then I'm
Renfrow.
asking you. I'm asking the question.
Hunter Renfrow is a former Pro Bowler. If
Now,
Hunter
I think y'all
Renfrow can,
Renfro
are
hasn't caught a
I
pass
think
in
people are a
3
little
years.
underrating on Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter
he
Yeah.
that
been
hasn't
dude is
caught
a
a
former
pass in
Pro
3
Bowler.
yeah.
years.
This
And quite frankly, Hunter Renfro had one very good season in the NFL.
he had two. He had two.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, too, man.
He
All
had
Now,
right.
two.
Red, my
I'm gonna pull
husband
it
is a
up.
Raiders
I'm gonna
fan.
pull it up, and y'all
He
tell
had
me
two.
about it.
My
I'm pulling
husband's
it
a
up.
Raiders fan, Red, and he absolutely is so jealous that we got Hunter because he calls him
Because
the ankle breaker.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that dude. That's up about
the dude just gets open, man. So like,
Cool.
if all you're, I mean, he had a season, he had a couple years where it derailed by injury, and then last year he took off. But if he can
So
return to his,
y'all said he had 2 good seasons, right?
in
Right?
his career.
Yeah,
Two,
that's what
two,
I'm saying.
two really good seasons. I mean, the
So
other seasons was.
Twan, I'm asking you to put it in perspective. What's a really good season for a wide receiver? How
Hey,
many?
I'm
Let's
not.
just do
Check
yards
this out.
alone.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you just laughing like this. I'm gonna let you do that shit to Nick today and Edge.
Okay.
I'm not.
You're just
I'm
driving the
not
show.
participating in
You're
that.
just
I'm
driving the
not
show.
participating in that shit today. I already know. See, you ain't gonna flutter me today. I'm determined to not let you get me fluttered.
Okay. What, Nick, what's a very good season for a
why
wide
you and
receiver?
see why you had to bring me in it right after you. I got
All right,
you tried
I'll
to,
leave it
you know,
alone.
you not
I'll
about to
leave it
get
alone.
me.
I'll leave it alone. I'll
My
leave it
name is
alone.
not
Suffice
Dago
to say
Rizby.
this.
Give him
Suffice
your
to
ass,
say
then he
this.
gonna stick your ass.
He went over 1,000 yards one time in his career. That's
He
all.
did.
I'll leave it at
But
that.
but
Number
here's
one,
but
he was never the number
but
one option.
well,
I
that's what
agree.
I was about to get to
Yeah.
was Hunter Renfro ever remarked as a number one wide receiver with the
No,
Raiders?
His
no.
Because if he
second year he
wasn't,
was.
that's where you
His
can
second year
narrow.
he was. His second year and his third year he was.
His second year he was. I don't think the second year he was. The third year I
I
would say yes.
think he was.
I mean, so and this is something I've had conversations and debates about with people all the time. Outside of that guy being the prototypical size, your number one wide receiver changes every single game.
Yep.
I'm
So
gonna tell you
outside
something.
of that guy that fits that bill,
I agree.
I mean,
I
Hunter
agree.
Renfro to me is not. He's not somebody. I mean, he's not even going to be R1. So I mean,
He ain't gonna be out two. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't
I'm gonna
think
Nah.
be
he
huh?
honest.
crossed 4, to be honest.
He ain't gonna be out two.
Well, no, but here's what I will say. If Hunter Renfro,
Before we
if,
get
if
ahead of ourselves, Red Swarm, look,
We going down.
he's right. I
no,
mean,
I know I've got it pulled up too, but
them
I
hold
got it
on.
numbers
pulled up too.
Because,
I
well,
know he was.
okay, but guys, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Are we really trying to ask 4 wide receivers to get 1,000 yards? Because that ain't gonna happen.
No, that
no,
ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so again, let's put this in perspective. We know Hunter Renfro is not going to be a 1. We know he's not going to be at 2. He will probably be a rotational 3 unless Adam
absolutely.
Thielen gets hurt. Now, what I have said on this show many many times, is that if Hunter Renfrow can get up to where he was before he started developing the condition that he has, which he did say started at around 2022. He didn't know what it was. 2023, it flared up and it was bad, and then he never came back until this season. So if he can get back to that caliber, and this is not going to happen overnight. He knows that. I don't even think he'll get close to what he was in 2021. I would love that. But if he, as a third wide receiver on rotation, can get 500 to 600 receiving yards,
that's good.
And 2 to 4 touchdowns, I'm not mad at that.
I
either.
want him to do it, though.
I ain't asking for no more than that.
He's not even going to be expected to do that, man. Look,
No.
I think he's going to be a third down wide receiver. He's going to be that guy that gets open and gets you that first down on third, bro.
Yeah, and he's a slot
receiver. Yeah, there you go.
He's going to be a slot guy who I would hope would take over.
Yeah,
I see him taking over Adam Thielen's role, because I do not think Adam Thielen comes back after this year, unless we get so close to kissing some kind of whatever. Hunter Renfrow could come in and take over that kind of positional role as a veteran who is older and is still kind of like that safety valve piece. I'm not mad at that.
I think if you get 500 yards out of your number three wide receiver, that's damn good production out of your wide receiver.
And that's the most I'd ever ask out of him, or even Thielen. Thielen just happens to be Bryce Young's safety blanket.
What did y'all get out of Mooney last year?
990, but we got 600 and something out of Ray McLeod as our third receiver.
Okay, that was to the third.
Listen. Think about this. You got 600 yards out of Mr. Slick Hands himself. I can't complain about that.
No, can't.
Oh, I know.
So
I'm not even.
But as far as, and I'll touch on this, as far as like the potential in this room, I mean, and I don't think our roster is, I think as far as the variety at what this could be, there is potential. We don't have a better room than the Falcons.
No,
we don't have a better room. We have a better room than the Saints. I will say that. We don't unless Mike Evans falls off substantially, and I forgot his damn name already. He was.
But they got Emeka Ibuka too, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And Jalen McMillan didn't do too bad.
They're planning for the
Jalen McMillan did great.
He did, and he was like a 4th or 5th round pick for them, or 3rd. He was picked late, but either way,
who got Emeka Ibuka?
The Bucks.
Tampa.
Yeah.
So Emeka don't scare me. He don't scare me like that.
He doesn't, but at the same time, their room, I don't think our room is better than our room necessarily.
Yeah,
our room is not better than their room. Excuse me.
The Big Ten wide receivers don't wind up being shit, bro. He don't scare me, bro. You know what I'm saying? He undersized. I mean, if he anything like DJ Moore, that's success. Go ahead.
Twan, me either. Even when he was at Ohio State, but Twan, what I'm saying, Greek, is this. If he gets lined up as the number 3 and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin is pulling coverage,
that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, Godwin, that's who it is.
And shout out to Panther Pickle. Panther Pickle said, "Look, man, if Hunter Renfrow is our the best third receiver, we're in trouble."
But he's not. He's not.
He's got to be a situational wide receiver. He's going to go get us a first down.
He's going to rotate with Thielen.
Yes, that's what he's saying. That's what, because Twan said that. He said a rotational third. He said
he's a rotational third.
That's what I agree with when she said that. And the other thing is this, yo. Clay, I'm gonna let you go because we got to move on to the next subject. Mm-hmm. I love you, brother, but y'all got to stop this coca shit. Bro.
Yeah, you got.
What's gonna happen?
Roster, but definitely.
What they're gonna do is bring up all the stats about how many, what his average catch was, and all this. I've seen the stats for the Coker argument.
He can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy.
Juan, you gotta forgive Grease. He hates Winfro and Thielen.
Okay, then there it is.
He does.
Okay, so we just like old. We hate old reliable guys. Got it. Cool. Okay.
Don't make no. Hey, look. Every
Something-
team
Well,
got
that's
a
That's
over
Creek,
reliable
though.
guy, and we hate on him. We hate him.
I mean, I don't know how you can hate on Thielen when
Yeah,
in Bryce Young's worst year he had over 1,000 yards receiving, but apparently we can hate on Thielen. That's wild to me.
That's wild. Hey, listen, next subject, man. Bad negotiation tactics. How the recent interjection of new clauses at teams' discretion, and this can apply to all the teams in here, the Falcons, if Restaurant want to speak on them as well, will affect rookie deals and extensions in the near future. We started to kind of get on that a little bit, but we're going to go full-fledged with it now. How could this affect the Panthers as players are coming up for extensions and the prospects for next year's draft class? Look, man, I want to thank Nick, Claire, and Edge. They came up with all the subjects tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to give them all their credit. I thought the subjects they came up with so good, I didn't even need to add one.
Oh, this is Nick's baby. I'm going to let him take over.
Hey, look. So I'm gonna start it. This is the NFL topic. This doesn't have to. This is not going to. But it can roll to where it's gonna affect our team too. So, but just to give it context.
Yeah, give us some context first before we
Give you context. So, if everybody's been watching in the news, the Bengals have been going back and forth with Shamar Stewart over his contract. So, I learned a little bit more about it today. Even today, Claire, I learned some more about it. So,
oh God,
what the language is in the contract has to do with conduct undetrimental.
Before you start and we get into it, again, I want to welcome again Kitty from Black Cat, First Lady over there. Happy birthday to her. Y'all make sure y'all hit up Kitty.
Happy birthday, Kitty.
Kitty, put your Cash App in the chat too, man, in case somebody want to donate to you. And another member of the Black Cat Panther podcast, my brother, Poppin is in the building, man. What's going on, bro?
A baby.
What's going on? I said this motherfucker late as hell, bro.
Yeah. So just to finish it up, so the clause that they're trying to put in his contract is conduct detrimental. So what they're trying to do is be able to void some of the guaranteed money that he is guaranteed as a first round pick, which is the entire contract. The entire contract is 100% guaranteed because of the way that the slotting was negotiated during the CBA. So this is something this is not anything. And what makes it worse is this isn't anything they've done to anybody prior. Matter of fact, this isn't anything that they did to any of the other rookies that they've already signed.
It's only in his contract.
It's only in his contract. Now, looking up in the history through Shamar Stewart, Shamar Stewart, I don't see anything where he has shown any negative character issues. So never seen any of that. And then just to put the other things in context. So now what could end up affecting the rest of the teams around the NFL is Shamar has come up with a couple options. One, just sit out and not play. And two, his team has said that he's going to hit up the NCAA and see if he can get his eligibility back. I'm not gonna, because that's just asking. It's not saying that it's going to happen, but that's him asking. But if they say yes, that means he can go back to college and just come back out next year for 2026 draft.
No, he can't play. He can't play in the NCAA again. He'll miss a complete year, but he can re-enter the draft next year. It's been done before.
No, look,
it's been done before.
The way that the rules are written, he can't withdraw. But if they petition the NCAA and ask them to waive the option for him to come back because of the situation, he can go back. It's on the NCAA. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but
I
it's
thought
on.
you were saying he just automatically gets to go
No,
back.
No.
They have to petition.
They have to petition for it. His team is saying that that might be in the plan to petition for it. But
okay.
But if he was to petition for it and to get back in trouble, what it does to the rest of the teams is, man, now these first round picks can say, "Oh, I just don't want to play for you." It's going to create it's going to create an atmosphere where these guys actually can say, I just don't want to play for you. I'm going back to school, or I'm
But
just
they've
not going
always
to
had
play.
that option.
They have had that
But
Not
option.
to go back to
Well,
school, but
as
just
long
to
as you
just
don't hire agent,
Yeah,
they've
agent.
always
yeah.
had
Yeah.
that.
So look,
Now,
so
can I play devil's advocate with you real quick?
Yeah, so look, I was wanting to go with Pop first anyway. Let the new people come on before Pop goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the
My bad.
show from the C3 podcast, man. Panther Pickle is in the building. Pickle, what's going on, bro?
Hey
hey,
man,
pickle.
I just spent an hour and a half doing a space on one end and arguing with G Baby in a chat group.
Oh
So
God,
I'm
bless him.
I'm glad to
Yes.
I'm glad to be
Godspeed.
here with y'all.
A lot
Godspeed.
of
yeah,
that,
That's
a
all I'm
lot
gonna
of
say.
that protest
Godspeed.
appeals.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so just
it's-
to lay out the question, So it's just, how do y'all feel about it ain't because this can affect the entire NFL. How do y'all feel about the way that the Bengals are trying to backdoor the system?
we're gonna start with Pop.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Shout out to the Bengals and the scout team
Mm.
because obviously they did some research. Maybe it wasn't put out there in the media about maybe his conduct, but maybe they did some research and found out like,
What did he do?
Yeah,
Nothing. As far
I
as
couldn't
we know.
find nothing. I
Yeah,
can't
No,
as
find
far
nothing.
look, I mean, but you weren't in that building. You wasn't on that campus. You don't know the coaches. We don't know. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. Shout out to them. Maybe they heard some things or found out some things that might have been swept underneath the radar. They kept it quiet, and once they got him there, even though they might have loved his talent, they had to saying, hey, look at this. This is what we're gonna do about your situation. But it's kind of odd knowing that how broke their owner is. If this is just some way to get out financially of playing a player, well, shame on them too. Because I mean, you need to cough up the money. The same thing I've been talking about Nick Scorton. I brought this up on another platform. I know people saying that you should negotiate, or your negotiating skills should be this or should be that. And if their player wants more money, I understand. I say different positions get paid different amount of money, especially depending on where you got picked in certain rounds. Just the money is already set. You ain't gonna get so much more depending on the position you play and where you got picked at. You can try, but I mean, it's far and few who've been able to do it and it go. So some of these players, to me, just should sign their contract, ball out, and then come back to the table within 2 years and negotiate. That way, what I'm saying, you still are not going to end up with a learning curve or anything of that sort, and you still can provide for your family and those that you're going to be taking care of. But yeah, Cincinnati could be doing some crazy weird backdoor stuff, bro. I think it could be a financial thing because they brokies.
Can I
That's
have
that.
opinion? I have an opinion on that too?
Yeah, I mean they got over
You-
35% they freaking
you-
cap going into 3 players.
Absolutely. So look, man, let me go ahead and introduce my man Chuck to the show. Chuck is in here. We're gonna go Panther Pickle, and then we're gonna go Chuck, and then we're gonna go JP, man. Let them get in on the conversation.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
I listened to Bill Polian this morning on XM Radio, and he still has some connections with the competition committee. He reiterated the part. He said if the dude wants to go back into the draft, he that's his right. All he has to the Bengals can't find him because he ain't signed no contract yet.
Exactly.
The NFL can't find him because he ain't signed no contract. He can just simply re-enter the draft, and once he does that, at that point the Bengals don't get nothing in compensation, and they don't hold any right over him. Now he can't go sign with another NFL team this season. But once this season's over, he's free to go and re-enter the draft and go somewhere else. So in reality, if the Bengals truly can't find themselves with Shamar Stewart, their best option is to trade his rights to another team. They may not like it, but that's their best option. Either that or agree to the deal, because it's my understanding he's not asking for anything more than any other first round pick is getting.
It's the Bengals, though.
Because he
They
can. Because he
sorry.
can't
I mean,
ask for it.
he said, listen, I want what the 16 pick got, or
He
the
can't
19
have what
pick.
the 16 pick
Well,
got, Pickle.
I'm just saying.
That's where the
He just
line gets
asked.
drawn at, though.
Well, I'm
And I'm
just
sorry to interrupt, Twan. I know you got an order to this, but it's important to understand what the full guarantees are for first round draft picks. Picks 1 through 16 is fully guaranteed and their signing bonus. Picks 17 through 32 is guaranteed through the first 3 years. If they exercise the 5th year option, then other guarantees kick in.
Yeah, it's my
So if
understanding
he's
that's always
asking
one.
for what pick 16 gets, he's got a problem because the Bengals don't have to do that.
Yeah, which is why we pushed. Which is why we pushed. We went, even though I thought it was dumb as fuck. While we got Excel and put him in, and we traded up or whatever to put him in that 32 because of that reason. Swarm just said second. But let's go to Chuck. Hey, Pickle, you done?
Let me add something real quick before the truck goes. Let me go add something.
We got something go too, Nick. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nick.
This it's not. He's not trying to negotiate more money. He's not at all.
No.
Negotiate more money. It's all.
You breaking up, bro.
Nick.
Nick's breaking up. But what is being negotiated is a clause that is being input by the Bengals at their discretion, and Shamar Stewart does not want it in there. He wants to sign the same rookie contract that he was supposed to have been given without the clause in it. That's what this essentially is.
Shout out to D-Cash in the building. See, the wild part is that if he goes back to play the NCAA, the Bengals retain his rights, and he is still a Bengal next year.
No, he has signed a contract.
Not true.
Yeah, he has signed a contract.
Not true. That's not true. If he does not, as long as he never signs a contract with them, he could go back and get drafted again.
Yes, exactly.
He said that the Bengals put in his contract that they can void his guaranteed money at any time. He ain't fucking with that, laughing out loud. And
to me, it just sounds like the owner is broke.
Said she had to hop out. Got to take my son to practice driving, but I'm listening. Hey, shout out to Kitty. Today is her birthday. Y'all make sure y'all show us some love, man. But let me get the Chuck next.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Two things.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, but thank you. I have 2 points to make, and this is what it is. The bank. I feel like this is a situation where creative idea, but wrong messenger. The Bengals, what they're doing is kind of unique in a sense, but their history and their owner doing the things of trying to do this is it's wrong messenger kind of thing, kind of labels. Shamar Stewart's every right to basically, in a sense, not do it, because in a sense, why would he sign something that never been done before and void all the guarantees? And my thing is, they're just trying to be in the sense where it seems like the Bengals are trying to save as much money as possible to pay all the people they paid. Because I knew that when they paid T. Higgins, they paid Jamar Chase, they paid Joe Burrow, and they're trying to pay Trey. They're trying to get any penny worth of penny pinching of doing anything. The real reason is that, yes, I do. That is true. They don't have the money, because when the Raiders didn't have money, Khalil Mack wasn't traded because he wanted to be traded or the Raiders wanted to trade him. They didn't have money in escrow to pay him for the other part of the contract. So in a sense where they can pay that money on those contracts, they don't have the money in escrow to do that. The Bengals are not a rich franchise, a wealthy franchise to have the money in escrow. This is a situation.
They're also the bullshit franchise.
Yes,
and I don't want to cut you off, but you're gonna have a lot of guys. I think somebody kind of alluded to it in the future. That's gonna be like, that's gonna pull an Eli. I don't want the Bengals to pick me up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ownership is fucking terrible over there. You know what I'm saying? It seems like try to shade guys. I said, look, They come, and then the other question I have for all of y'all, but I'm asking Chuck for right now, is where's the Players Association in on all of this?
Exactly. Here's the thing, and we laughed about it. We said that David Tepper is the worst owner, and we talked about it for years and years and years.
He's still up there.
He's still up there, but if I want somebody who's a meddling owner who's trying to win, or do I want somebody who doesn't fucking pay me? I want someone who's meddling and trying their best to win, and it didn't work out. I don't want nobody that doesn't want to fucking pay me. That's bad, bro.
Right.
That's I rather have the meddling owner that is just trying to win and fails than someone who doesn't want to pay me. That's bad ownership. That's bad leadership. I'll take that any day.
The only thing, and I'm gonna let you guys go, is this: if the Bengals are doing something perfectly within their rights, there's nothing he can do. He just got to be good this year, and then whatever.
Right.
But since has been a situation that's never been done before, especially to a first round pick, because I know JP wants to go as well. That's why it concerns me about the whole Nick Scott thing. I know everybody's like, oh, he still got a month to go and just that yada yada yada. I'm just really not understanding if a first round pick is going through this and you got picked in the second. Why you ain't signing your contract? Because
this is totally irrelevant. That's totally irrelevant.
That's
totally irrelevant.
It is.
They just went to the same school.
It don't matter about the school. It's relevant.
Hear him out first,
bro. I've had other. We had other.
Hear him out first, and then you guys can start.
It's relevant because that's a Bengals player that hasn't signed his contract, but they're trying to blackball him, and we have a player that hasn't signed, and we're not trying to blackball him. So my correlation is, I understand why Stewart is not signing because they're trying to backdoor him, but I'm trying to figure out in my head and with the rest of y'all why Scorton isn't trying to sign his.
I don't.
As far as I know, we've never screwed anybody coming out the draft.
I know why he hasn't.
Okay, please.
I don't know. I find some things that say he has signed it because he can't practice at minicamp if he hasn't signed it.
Yeah, he
yes,
can
he
practice
can.
at minicamp.
Yes, he can.
He can't practice in training camp.
Yeah, and 75%. This is a very unusual year for the second round pick. And go ahead, Claire. My bad, AC.
Well, I think what you're about to say, Swarm, is probably what I'm about to say. It's because you've now had 2 or 3 guys who are in the second round who have gotten fully guaranteed contracts. If you don't think for one second that Nick Scott isn't going to try to make a push for that, I'm sure he is, which could be the reason why. Now, as far as I know, there's been no, ill, said between the Panthers and his team as far as getting that done, and I don't think that will be an issue. It may just be coming down to how much they're willing to guarantee, and if it comes down to guaranteeing all of it, then they'll cross that bridge when they get there. But something that I do want to add to that is what no one else is talking about with the Bengals to add to all this ridiculousness. Demetrius Knight, which is their second round pick, also has not signed his contract, and he has also not been participating in practices either. So it's not just Shamar Stewart, but I think for Demetrius Knight, it's because of the same reason why Nick Scott wouldn't be practicing, but Nick Scott has elected to still practice. But I think for Demetrius Knight, it's for the same reason why some of these other second round picks haven't yet, because you've got Jaden Higgins and Carson Schwechsinger, getting these fully guaranteed contracts in the second round. So that could be for a totally different reason as far as Demetrius Knight.
Of what AC just said, and it ain't gonna be long. This is gonna be real fast. I want to put this thought in y'all's mind. NIL. A lot of these cats is trying the teams and contracts and that sort of thing because they made $3 or $4 million in college, and they can afford to sit down and take a risk and say, "Fuck them. I'm gonna sit down for a year and come and play next year for another situation."
That's true, Red.
I agree. I agree with that
too.
And
if
I can add real quick, and I'll. I think in the end, I think that the NFL league office, maybe Roger, they have to get involved because this is going to scar the league, and they're not going to like that. And it wouldn't shock me. I talked to a Bengals fan today, and he's just a fan like us. He said that a lot of the Bengal fans have been pushing for the owner to sell the team for years. They just want out of there. So
Pickle,
I think it's gonna happen.
let me ask the chat. Is there going to be a day ever when NFL fully guarantees contracts?
Not all of
No.
them.
Not every contract. I hope they never guarantee every contract they write. But I mean, at the same time,
You couldn't
and I
afford
understand
to.
what you're saying. They couldn't afford it, but at the same time, when they do, the players should guarantee that they can live up to that contract, and the players can't do that. So
No.
I don't see it happening, Chuck, and I'm gonna tell you why real quickly. Unless the NFL works something out with the insurance companies that insure their players. You know, injuries are 100% certainty in the NFL. So if you're going to fully guarantee every contract, teams will not be able to afford to have 5, 6, $50 million players under contract who are injured and can't get on the field.
Yep.
Because fans won't do a game to support that shit. Lose money. And the owners are never going to do that.
Yeah, and also not only that, you don't want to fully guarantee a contract and then all of a sudden have a Jordan Travis situation, or an Alex Smith situation. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Where
that's why there's
injuries-
injury clauses. You would have. I mean, if you can have a
understand
fully
that,
guaranteed
but
contract, and you can still put an injury clause to void out whatever's guaranteed.
I know, but still,
then you would have to put in. You'd have to put in clauses to make up for a player who clearly, for example, DJ Johnson. If DJ Johnson got a fully guaranteed contract, I mean,
oh God,
think about it. What happens if Jonathan Mingo would have got a fully guaranteed contract?
I'm still clear. If I'm not mistaken, I was on another show with T. Cole.
Some of these.
I was on another show with T. Cole, and he mentioned that the pay for players once they become injured and a guarantee injury clause kicks in, it's not the same as their weekly check when they are actively on the roster and playing. I could be wrong. And I
think you're right. Actually, they don't get paid the same when they're injured.
See,
they do not. But Chuck, guess what? All that money still counts to the cap because the money was already guaranteed towards the cap.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah,
it's not like they don't get that money back towards their cap because the dude got injured.
Mm-hmm. And that's another situation. Just like I said, just from a fan perspective, I'm not counting nobody else's pockets because I can't, and I don't get paid to. But from a fan perspective, bro, that is a situation that can really hurt your team to a certain extent.
I mean, we're looking at it. Look at Deshaun.
Somebody getting the guaranteed money. Yeah, Deshaun.
Yeah,
Look at Deshaun Watson. They can't get rid of Deshaun Watson because it's like $100 million towards their cap.
Yeah, and hey, I mean, not trying to shoot no shots at Red,
and that's why
that's $100 million they give him to a quarterback. That's not a starter. I don't want to be as a Carolina Panther fan, whether people brush it off or not. I don't want to have them situations here.
And that's why if you like Bryce or you don't like Bryce, I don't care. This year is important because if he balls out, sure, give him the money. If he doesn't, don't give him the money.
I'm not giving him
I don't care if he balls out.
I'm not giving him to him yet. I may give the 5th-year option on him, but I'm not giving him a nice $50 million contract just because he had one good year. Now, if he goes and we win the Super Bowl this year, now that might be altogether different. But until that happens, we'll.
What are you talking about, the 5th-year option? Well, they have to pick up his 5th-year option this offseason.
They don't have to.
No, they don't.
I mean, if what I'm saying is if they plan to pick it up, they have to pick it up this offseason.
Wait.
No, they don't.
Wait, stop. So let's do this right now.
Stick a pin in AC and come back.
Let's do this
Got
right.
you, Red.
Let me ask you a question. I know this. I'm not going to
get you back in there, Red.
I'm not going to make no bones about it. This podcast has been very anti-Bryce. Okay, cool. You telling me that if he balls out,
Okay.
Claire, if you tell me that you can laugh, but it's true. Let's not laugh at it. You're true. But in a
But
sense
Chuck,
where if he
remember
balls out, if he
you came out to the
balls
show
out,
and said we was right.
if he balls out, you're
Remember?
still not going to give him a 5th-year option. I'm not
Well,
saying pay him. I'm not saying pay him. I said you're not going to pick up the 5th-year option if he balls out. If he balls out, you have to pick up the 5th-year option.
I
If you're
would.
not, if you're
would.
not, if you don't, you don't know football. You don't know football. If he balls out, you have to pick up the 5th
You
year.
got to repeat it all.
I would.
I'm
but
out.
I would be
Go ahead,
clarified.
AC.
I don't need to make that decision until next year around the 28th or the 29th of April, and that's when I'll make it. I'm not going to do it in January next year. I'm going to make everybody wait till the last damn minute.
Oh well, you can't. Well, Pickle, you can't pick up his 5th-year option until the new year league year anyway. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Nick, that's the third,
That's the third year.
the third day
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
to
new
be the
league year
2026.
is when you're gonna have to pick it up. The third day
Yeah.
of the third day of the third new league
yeah,
year.
that's when you can pick it. That's when the
can
window
pick it up.
starts and the
Let me-
window closes.
Okay.
The window
Yeah.
closes like 2 days after the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
So let
I
me
wouldn't
ask.
pick it up until that day.
Let's just say
before you go, Chuck, let me get in here real quick.
All right.
This is a guy that's on his team that spoke about the situation with Shamar Stewart. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear it from a player's perspective real quick.
If you ask me that question, I think you need to ask me from what perspective do you want me to answer it? Because there's about 5 different ones that I could, based on how many roles that I hold in the organization in the NFL. I think.
And this is the Cincinnati Bengals center.
Obviously, everyone can agree that not practicing all spring is an unfortunate outcome of business. It's a reality, and I don't think there's any resentment from players. But I hope that it's resolved before the real starts.
You don't see a rookie often criticize the organization before he ever signs a contract. What was your reaction to that?
Obviously, again, like I've said, it's not the best case scenario of how the spring could have gone for our first round pick, but there is a pretty serious business aspect to our profession, and he's taking counsel from his camp, and I don't. The main thing I want to say is I don't think to either of our defensive ends that there's not any harboring resentment in this locker room to them. And I really hope that both camps can figure this out, because we have a really good team. We've had a super productive spring, and you just don't want this to carry over into summer.
What does PA think? It's a fascinating case study.
It is, and I've looked at it's honestly it's hard to get all the information because you don't know what you're looking at. Twitter is Twitter, so I don't know really what the actual dispute is, and I think that it's very nuanced. I think from a PA perspective, always we don't want language in contracts that are going to be negative to players as far as guaranteed money. We're always trying to max the amount of guarantees that guys get. So it's a business negotiation, and I feel for Shamar that he has to this is his first taste of the league with kind of a lot of hate on the internet. Twitter is around, so I hope that he can come and be super productive in fall and kind of get everyone back on his side. But again, I will reiterate, his teammates, this locker room, we are not harboring any resentment. We just hope that it gets resolved with upstairs.
And one thing Cincy Twitter has pointed out is he hasn't taken a snap in the NFL. Has he earned the right to come in as somebody who hasn't played in the NFL and say what he did?
Well, I think another perspective you can even talk about is just how much money's at stake. So I think anyone in any position, any job, when it's that much money, things get very serious. So I don't know if it's about earning the right. I think, maybe. No, I don't think there's anything about earning the right. I think there's just a lot of money at stake. And, I just hope that, we can resolve this, get him back on track, and have a great career in Stripes. How do you all?
He sounds, when I hear him, he sounds like a company man, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but it sounds like he's trying to say all the right things when he's answering the questions. He doesn't want to piss his team off, but he wants to be able to support his teammate at the same time. But the one question I had throughout this, and I'm curious to know you guys, is like, why are they asking the center about his job? You know what I'm saying?
I thought
I
it was
think
the
I
players.
think he's
I
the
thought
rep.
it was the
That's what I
players
think
rep.
he is.
He's their PA. He's their PA rep. He's the PA rep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But Twan, before anybody answers this question though, you want to know what's crazy funny about this whole thing? Crazy funny about this whole thing is that when they asked Joe Burrow about this, it's like Joe Burrow was like, "Oh, this is a 100% complete distraction on the team and everything." And I'm like, Joe, stop. This has nothing. Like, I get this is your team,
Joe
but
Burrow got his money. That's some bullshit.
exactly, like Joe, like don't just because you're the quarterback and your pockets are filled doesn't mean that the guy that you guys drafted can't get his money. It's a fully guaranteed contract. What's the hurtful point?
So
You know?
Twan,
Good. Shout
I
out to
wanted to come
MDJ though,
back
man.
to AC because this is what I was gonna ask earlier, while we
Go
were
for it.
still on this topic. Is Nick, and I think this is a great topic. Not to belabor it, but I just did want to say this real quick to make sure that we were all kind of on top of what the problem is. Even their center right there was saying you get different stuff off of Twitter. It's hard to know exactly what it is. So I don't know if Nick, if you got this, or AC. I know Twan, you said they did their own questions, so they had the info on this. But
Yeah, I put
I
this.
just read real quickly, and what it said, the issue was, and Stewart and his camp had was, they wanted to have the right. They wanted to have him sign a contract which said that for any conduct or anything that
Yep,
happens, that, and typically
undetrimental.
they could void, like, okay, so say his rookie year, I'm gonna just try to put it in an example. Say he went out and he led with the crown of his helmet, he got suspended for 4 games,
Mm-hmm.
and in his clause, Cincinnati had the right to void that whole year
Yep.
based on that sort of conduct. What they're trying to do is say not only can they void that year, which is typical for teams to be able to do, like when a player misses time in a season, they can void that year. They
Oh
want
yeah.
to have the right to void his future years as well.
Correct.
Correct.
So if
fuck
the kid got his
that.
shit together, was quiet, handled the suspension, came back to summer camp, did everything else, and was ready to take the field again, he'd have to play with no guarantees in his second and third year.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
That
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
bullshit.
is
they
bullshit.
That's
they
what
they
it
trying
was.
to get the money back from all the money they
Yeah.
I
paid him.
wouldn't
So
sign
look.
it either.
So
I
look.
wouldn't
Nope.
sign that
So
damn thing.
red. His from what I've been hearing, his agent said they don't care about it being in the contract, but it needs to be calculated on what could cause this. It does. You can't just say conduct detrimental, because conduct detrimental could mean
Man, fuck the Bengals, man.
he
They the
don't
only
show up
team trying to do this.
he don't
They the
show up to
only team
And
practice
this
trying
is
on
to do
what
this
this
time.
to
is what I
players.
they're trying to get the money back they paid Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. They trying to get back on that.
Exactly. That's a
Well,
good point, Chuck.
That's the whole thing about it is
Yeah, because
it's
they could
not.
suspend that boy and say he was chewing gum in the defensive
Yes,
line
that's
room.
They're
yes,
trying
Right.
to
red,
they're
yeah,
trying
they
to
red
could
get
is
they can
they
really
they
basically get him for anything. So
so
that's
It's
something
yes,
else.
basically
too
this is
vague of a. It's
this
the
is what they're
clause is
trying
too
to do.
vague.
This is what they're trying
Yes,
to do.
yes.
They're trying to get first round talent at a 7th round price. That's what they're
yes,
trying to do.
You know,
And
I, I,
Excellent statement,
that's
bro.
a great way
That's
to
what
put it
they're
right
trying to
there.
Great
do.
way of putting it.
I've said it before. I've said it on Friday Free for All. Some of y'all knew this when I said it. That's why I've said it before. The NFLPA really has no balls. The
Yes.
NFLPA should
Yeah,
step into
yeah,
this situation
yeah.
and tell every player in the Bengals locker room to go home
So
and don't show up.
basically, and you know
But
what?
the
You know what?
NFLPA doesn't have any balls.
What so I
Exactly,
just said,
pickle.
what is the PA doing about it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just put in the chat the whole thing about what's going on here. So the NFLPA no longer is the collective bargaining representative of NFL players when it comes to wages, hours, or working conditions, which is things that are outlined in their contract. As a result, it is no longer a requirement that contract advisors, which are supplied by the NFLPA, to be certified on that.
Wow.
So they essentially
having the NFLPA.
So it's
is it?
between him and his agent. It's
it's
between the Bengals and his agent.
it literally limits what the NFLPA can advise to an agent and vice versa.
One.
Essentially.
And Twan, that's why you said the center sounded like a company man, because he wasn't getting in the middle of
This
that
is
shit.
what
Yeah,
this
he
is what they're
wasn't. He was smart to do that too.
This is what the Bengals are trying to do. They're trying to make a high class and a low class. They're trying to not have a middle class, because a first round pick is pretty much a middle class person on the team. They're not the highest person on the team, but they're not the lowest person on the team. So what they're trying to do
they ain't
is
gotten a big boy
T.
contract
Higgins.
yet.
Yes, exactly. If you're T. Higgins, Trey,
They ain't
that's
gonna
why
let the Bengals pull that shit off.
you see the news. You see on the little news leak that they're trying to talk to Trey. What they're trying to do is, okay, let's put Trey on the higher class, and all the other people are low class. They're not going to have. They're trying not to have a middle class. That's what the Bengals are trying to do. They're trying to be smart. They're trying to be in a situation. It's bad business, but they're trying to be in a sense where there's no middle class. There's a low class and a high class, and that's what they're trying to do.
Time out, Chuck.
The Bengals are
hold up. I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because I remember hearing about something. I see why. So in the NFL's owners meetings per se, there are some talks from other representatives of talking about of the NFL owners petitioning for another game, add on another game.
Yep.
To the season via taking out the preseason, going straight into the regular season.
Yep.
So with that being said, so basically Cincinnati is basically quote unquote being a guinea pig to try to not only get some of their money back, but also trying to control how the money is worked in, so that way they can get some of their money back by adding on another season, adding on another game to the season.
So
via also, because I think in about a year or two, Nick Gasson, correct me if I'm wrong, in about a year or two, isn't the TV renegotiation contract coming up in about a year or two?
Yeah, they're doing them short term. They're doing
Via doing a short term, the Cincinnati Bengals is basically a guinea pig for these players for now adding this type of language into the freaking players, because every time a freaking short term thing coming up for TV, what ends up happening? They end up signing a $3 to $5 billion freaking.
Are y'all talking about the Shamar Stewart situation?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Hold on. I want to get on what you're saying.
That's basically what that's getting into it.
Edge, and they're trying to get ahead of it, because also in that getting an extra game in will also give, I think, each team 10 more extra players on the team.
Yeah.
So if they can't afford one player right now with a guaranteed contract, and if they do, as Chuck is saying, separating the high class from the lower class, but
no middle class,
that means they can have 10 extra players that they're paying absolutely nothing.
And guess what? And not to get extra political on y'all. What's happening in America right now? The middle class is shrinking. What do owners think about what they're trying to put the real shit into the NFL teams, because they're really trying to make these first round picks be lower class, earn your money the second and third years.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy about that, homie? You're looking at a situation where Carson Schwessinger and Jaden Higgins were the first two picks of the second round. They got guaranteed contracts.
You know why?
So I feel Shamar Stewart, bro, and to be honest, he has all the leverage.
The other thing that
I thought y'all were talking about the Shamar Stewart situation.
Yeah, no, we're talking about
it all ties into it, but we don't went past that part.
Yeah, that does exist already, Chuck. It's in baseball. You either get paid incredibly well or you get paid bullshit.
Yeah.
But that
Just like
doesn't
that right
happen
now
in the
in
NFL though.
baseball.
That never happened in the NFL because
See,
first
the
round
thing
picks.
is, that's what you got players associations for, man. Ain't no fucking way. I'm gonna play a gladiator sport and let you pay me whatever the fuck you want to pay me. So like that's what they have. This is why players are set out in the past and things like this. Look,
Yep.
man, it's good. It's good that the money's gonna be coming up with these networks and these new network contracts and whatever. But the owners are gonna get paid the most always
Either
when
way.
anything happens.
Yep.
Either way, bro. So look, you guys can stand together, or you can have the rich players just be like, well, it don't affect me, and then blah blah blah, or that's how it's gonna be, or the young ones. The reason why they can never get anything done in terms of standing off is because the NFL feels like they're always gonna pit other players against each other. So if high paid players say, look, I'm gonna strike for such and such, they'll say, well, we're just gonna play these lower scale players and without you. If they don't understand how to do shit together as players, then the NFL go always have them by the balls. Always.
Right.
But but also the fans.
What
The fans always catch the bullshit at the end.
in this situation,
Exactly,
what
man.
the Bengals, what the Bengal players should have done is just not showed up for a practice and made a
Exactly.
public statement together on social media and said, we're standing behind the two guys that you're trying to cheat. We will not show up until you fix this issue.
Exactly.
And then the Bengals would correct this shit.
Yeah,
Because
honestly,
their back would be
Pickle.
against the wall. Till they all
Honestly,
get together and do that, it ain't gonna matter.
honestly, Pickle, they don't have to go that
Swan,
far.
Swan,
They don't have
Swan,
to go that far. The
Swan,
guys who are on the guys who are on their rookie contracts or their second year guarantees, and they're only making $3 million a year, and they can't afford to miss time like that. They don't even have to be a part of that. If Joe Burrow and Chase Young
no, you're right.
say, I ain't coming to not one practice until y'all get these guys a contract.
That's why they gotta stand together.
But it ain't. But they not together. They not together.
No,
You
they
know
not
that.
together. They're
They
not.
not
And
together.
And that's
They
why
got their money. They got their money.
So like I said before,
that's why
and
nothing
also,
ever gets done, because they'll use the guys, they'll use the poor guys and the rich guys against each other. But let me ask you this one question in terms of the owners. How do you fuck with rich people, with wealthy people? You gotta fuck with their what?
With their money.
You gotta fuck with their money. And if the players all decide to say, I'm gonna stand in solidarity, we're gonna do this as a group, so they don't try to pull no bullshit on us in the future, then we gotta do this. Because guess what? The NFL can sit there and go,
you know what? And you know what? And you thought when Joe Burrow. Oh, my bad.
Listen, when okay, so when the NFL, you know how in the past when the owners are like, well, the league is gonna go on and blah 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 blah, whatever. Man, we ain't paying top dollar to go see no motherfucking third stringers playing again. Look, we're not doing that for the XFL, bro. The product matters. The product matters. The players never understand every year that you guys can call the shots just as much as the billionaires or whatever, because they ain't gonna be making no money if it ain't no damn football on TV. And what ain't no league going on. They can sit there and try to call y'all bluff all y'all want to, but y'all are the product.
Hey, wait a minute. Spotted Track is reporting that as of today, Nick Scorton signed his contract.
Oh,
good for him.
Did he?
Okay, so did
there you go, Pop.
So
there you
was
go,
the
Pop.
language was the language fixed, or did he just sign it just
He said Nick Gordon. He said Nick
His
Gordon.
contract is a 4-year deal, and it gives the amount. It doesn't say nothing about that.
You talking about Nick Scorton, not Shamar.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nick Scorton.
He talking about our player. But look, I just want to put context on all of this. So the issue is this: they're using this man as a guinea pig. What'll happen is if he caves, this will now become.
Hold on, Nick. I actually got the numbers. I got the numbers. It says the contract details have been revealed. Nick Scorton, for who was selected by the Carolina Panthers, selected second round of 2025 NFL draft. Per Spot Track, is expected. He said that his signing is 4 years, $8.8 million with a signing bonus of $2.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so Pickles right. He said, as first reported by Spock Track. So either they lying or telling the truth, but that's all we got for right now.
Right.
Sounds about right to me, though. The numbers
Right.
sound right.
I mean, well, you could if you pull up the Ricky Wade scale, it'll tell you the numbers for that slot for each slot.
Yeah, it's pretty much fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that the second round picks can negotiate is whether it's obviously just like she was saying,
Guaranteed.
the two players got fully guaranteed contracts in and that was on the way anyways, because your boy last year, Twan, he got 95% of his contract guaranteed. Up there in Buffalo. So it was coming either way that some of the top Coleman got 95% of his contract guaranteed. So it was coming either
That's
way.
right, Logic.
Well, listen, the Bengals is a fuckboy organization, though, so this doesn't shock me. This is where they've been. This ain't new to them.
Yeah. It's just like I'm saying. The issue
But what if
is
it works, Twan? What if it works? Because that's kind of a.
But Chuck, I don't think they're gonna let the Bengals pull that off. It might be some other team that can pull that off. The Bengals ain't got no damn money.
Wrong messenger. That's what I was telling before. Wrong messenger. What if the Eagles did this? You know what I'm saying?
The Eagles would never do this.
No, and the history of the NFL players getting butt screwed by the league goes back a very long time. I mean, some of y'all remember them contracts.
Because these punks, they don't know how to stand together.
But before the CBA was signed, these first round pick guys were making more than a 10-year vet was making.
Yeah.
And the NFLPA said, okay, we're going to lock out
Sam Bradford ended it all.
And they never fixed nothing. They just made the guys that got drafted the biggest screwballs of them all, because they all get fucked on that one.
Yeah, they had enough when Sam Bradford got all that money.
I like the rookie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the rookie wage scale.
I love it
because the rookie these players are not guaranteed to be good.
I understand that, but that running back from Boise State is getting paid. I think he's the second highest running back paid this year. He ain't even took a snap yet.
But I think that was the total. No, I think that's the total. I think that was total. It was his total amount. It ain't what he's getting paid.
Even in total amount, that's in some sense that shouldn't be the course.
Because the running back value is still they don't still get running backs.
What the hell is his name?
I get that, but it's
Ashton Genty.
Ashton Genty, as far as the scaling, how you're scaling things overall, even if you talk about in 4 years, whatever, he still should not be making overall in his contract more money than a top 10 quarterback overall in his career too. Like that, to me, that doesn't.
Well, it's $35 million. It's $35.9 million
over the course of 4 years.
Over the course of 4 years, and
he was what, the sixth pick?
Yeah,
Yes.
and he got $22.75 million signing bonus.
Got 22.7 guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
In that 1 year, he's getting paid than a lot of other running backs.
But I don't think that's, to me, that then the NFL needs to start valuing their running backs a little bit more.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
I don't think that's.
Thank you, Saquon. Thank you, Saquon.
How many years have I been saying this?
I mean, that's not so much on Genty or even the rookie wage scale.
No.
It's just that's how depreciating in value the running backs have been over the last couple of years.
They're trying to penny pinch everybody except the QB. They're trying to penny pinch everybody except the QB. That's what they're trying to do.
Of course. But this should not be shocking to anybody.
But what do you mean trying? They are doing that. They're doing it. They ain't trying.
I mean, the fact that and this is solely just organizationally, scrutinizing this, but the the Giants valued Daniel Jones over giving Saquon a contract.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what bad teams do.
And the Bengals right now will have absolutely no pass rush coming. The beginning of their, whatever season number they're on as a franchise.
Name a Bengal past the 4 players that we're talking about.
Let's remember, week 10 and the Bengals ain't won one game. They'll fire the head coach, the GM will blame it all on them. But that owner setting up there.
The ownership is terrible, bro.
Nothing's going to change. Just like the New York screwball Jets will never be a good team.
But Pickle, check this out. Every owner gets $380 million check every year after every season. Each owner. Yeah. So just think about the Bengals owner, right? How long he's been the owner.
Right.
And then times $380 million he's getting cut a check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not put that money in escrow?
Still taxes though. Still taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Brown. His name Mike Brown.
Still taxing, but how much? Okay, they're taxing how much out of that?
Well, what state you in?
So we're talking about Cincinnati,
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah, you
how
get
much
full
is that?
tax in Ohio. The full tax.
But it doesn't even matter. Like, people don't understand $1 billion is way more than it's $900 million. Like, people don't understand like
that's what
Mike
I'm
Brown
saying,
is not hurting.
Yeah,
Mike Brown's not hurting.
Well,
Mike Brown's not
listen.
hurting. He's this
I
guy.
know he's not hurting, but there's the issue is this stuff. It is $900 billion. It is $900 million. But at the end of the day, this dude is worth
millions.
He's worth $4 billion, and the team itself is worth $7.
What
the team is more worth than him?
The worth difference in how much he makes, because the worth just basically says if he was to sell it right now.
The Cincinnati Bengals worth $7 billion.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Red. I'm not saying the team itself is worth $7 billion. It will sell for $7 billion because the last team sold for $6.
Ain't no way in hell. Ain't nobody buying the Bengals for $7 million.
Ain't nobody buying the Bengals.
Hey, all I know is when we watched it, every time a team has gotten sold, it's tricked up. It's never gone down.
It never goes down.
It never goes down.
What cities it's in though? LA. Hey, look, but it ain't shit going on in Cincinnati and Cleveland, bro. Nothing.
Okay, so someone bought the Minnesota Timberwolves. What the fuck goes on in Minnesota?
What?
The Broncos sold for the Broncos. The Broncos weren't but the last team that sold was the Commanders, and the Commanders sold for $6 billion.
You know how much money is in Washington and Denver? You know how much money is in Washington and Denver?
Yeah. I understand that. I understand that, Red. I understand that. But our team,
Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Yeah, Denver's top 5 in population, bro.
Have you ever been to Cincinnati, Ohio?
Yes, I've been to Cincinnati, Ohio, but I understand the difference in location. I'm talking about. It's not about that, Red. It's about getting into a club that only has 32.
Yes, nobody gives a fuck.
It's not. It's not a location. That's what I'm saying. When there's only 32, when it's only 32 spots to get in.
I gotta push back, Nick. I think if Ohio State, way more than with the Bengals. I don't think
I'm not. I 100% guarantee you right now.
The Panthers can sell for $2 billion. Come on,
I think the Cincinnati Bearcats was still higher than
Ohio State.
Listen, our team. Listen,
I was born in Ohio. I've got a lot of family in Ohio. You're going to have to pay me several millions of dollars to live in the state of Ohio.
I know that's right.
And I agree with you. That's not what but I'm not. I'm telling you. The NFL ownership is an exclusive club. An exclusive club. And if you look at it, if you look at the teams, If you look at the teams, our team sold for $2 billion, and then the Broncos sold for $4 billion, and then Washington sold for $6 billion.
Oh, you're talking about Denver and Washington D.C.
But I'm just trying to tell you, if there's only 32 spots, right? If there's only 32 spots, right? And I want to get in, and the dude tells you, I'll give it to you for $7 billion. You think somebody's not going to pay for it?
Everybody ain't gonna pay for it. Somebody that just want a team might pay for it, but some people gonna see that as a bad investment.
Nick.
Yeah, but I understand what he's saying. Somebody's gonna. I mean, okay, like in Washington, if Paul Brown was to say, "I'm selling the Bengals," somebody come buy it.
Somebody will
have
do it.
a
Yeah.
group of people.
That's all I'm saying. I ain't talking about. I'm not talking about. I'm not saying it is worth it.
They may not all be smart, but somebody will join it together and buy
It's
it.
gonna be a group of people to buy that team, bro. Just
That's
like
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's worth it.
Like with Commanders, they got multiple owners, don't they?
Who?
No, they have a single owner. But listen, here's the deal, though. Here's the deal.
Magic was an owner too with the
Commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. They have one single owner, but with Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson is a majority share is a majority share owner.
It's still a fucking owner.
Yeah, they got minority owners.
Yeah, they got minority owners,
that's
yeah,
what I'm talking, minority owners.
There ain't no single person on that damn with the Commanders.
Yeah, that dude needed the money because he I mean, you can't own two sports franchises.
Shit, you can. Yes, some guys can. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, yeah, some of the guys can, but you know, the guys who could own both of those franchises and not care about it are our owner, the owner from Denver, maybe Jerry. I think Jerry's worth like $9 billion. I think that would hurt it. That would hurt his feelings.
We got an owner. My owner with the Knicks, Dolan. That motherfucker owned the Knicks, the Rangers, and he trying to buy the Giants, but they won't sell it to him.
Damn.
Damn.
Well, maybe he go buy the Bengals.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do that.
That dude, New York through and through.
Might be for sale.
And I know this is a discussion going nowhere, but this is the point that I'm trying to make, Nick. I get what you're saying. That it's an elite club. There are only 32 teams. So
that's
far,
all I was saying.
Whatever. But the point that I'm trying to make is, Antoine, this is the point that I was trying to make. I don't know, because I don't know what it would be like to have that type of money. But just in my logical way of thinking, I find it hard to believe that most of those billionaires maintain their wealth by making bad investments.
Yep.
And so what I'm saying is, they put a value on a entity or on a product or whatever it is, and they'll say the most that I could pay for that currently, where it's considered still a good deal for me, is $4 million. I don't give a damn if it's the newest NFL, it's the current NFL franchise that's up for sale. That doesn't mean just because Washington, that you went from 2 to 4 to 6, that the next one's going to be 7 or 8. If it's in a bad location and everything else, and the owner is having to get out for bad reasons, that bitch may not sell but for $3.5 billion.
Which is what I just put in the chat, Red.
Yep. Can I add
the highest valuation of the Bengals? You're fine. The highest valuation of the Bengals was $5.25 billion, ranking them 32 of 32. Listen, 32 of 32 in 2024. It has since been reappraised per Forbes and is now only worth less at $3.5 billion, putting them firmly at 32 of 32 again for 2025.
AC, great
Claire, I didn't even see you put that in there. I said
I knew, Claire, before I even said this, I knew what the team was worth, but I know when you're trying to...
Nick, apologize.
I'm not, but that's not what the team's gonna...
That's not what the team's gonna do.
That's not what the team's gonna sell for. I can...
No, bro.
It's not
This
going
boy
to
here is
sell
real
for that.
special. This
Did
Then
you
boy
when
not
the
here
just
is real special.
When the Carolina
This
Panthers
boy here
sold,
is real
Carolina
special.
Panthers were not worth $2 billion.
did
I
you
see
not
why
just say
your
what
brothers
Red
and
just
sisters used
said
to
though,
beat
bro?
your ass up.
Yeah, they've
Maybe,
already had somebody evaluate.
Maybe Nicole Temper about it.
Nick,
Exactly.
What's his
What
red?
y'all,
Nick Gaskins.
Shit, I'm fine with
Nick
that.
let me
Gaskins.
ask you this, Red.
Nick
How is it a
Gaskins.
bad investment when you make the
Nick
same amount
Gaskins.
of every other team?
Nick
Hold
Gaskins.
on, I got you.
I can
But
see
look,
why
Red, watch
your
this.
Gaskins
brothers
is a
and sisters
motherfucker,
used to
bro.
beat your ass up because nobody can tell you shit. Do you see
Nothing.
the
Nah,
quote that Twan just put up that AC put in there?
I know that, Red.
Bro, listen.
I'm going to tell you right now,
So
the
look,
Commanders
man,
were not worth $6 billion when
Yes,
they
they
sold.
were.
no, they
Yes,
weren't.
they
man,
were.
No, they weren't.
you gotta chill, man. Man,
No, they
look,
weren't.
They were not
man,
worth.
just
Y'all,
listen.
these
If a
valuations
team,
is what they say the team is worth.
Well,
That is
if
not
a
what they
the
team,
usually
worst,
sell
the
for.
worst,
okay, but
the
listen,
worst, the worst.
if the motherfuckers say that they should drop the 3.5 billion, Swamp just told you. I've been trying to say, no owner is gonna pay what somebody wants for that fucking team when they know
Exactly.
it ain't worth that damn much, unless
Especially
it's
a
in a
billionaire don't make
great
no money.
location.
Yep.
Okay.
So watch
The
this. Hold on,
well,
Red. Watch this.
the
I'm gonna add something to that. So
Okay.
The
Cincinnati
owner is
Bengals.
devaluing that team.
What? Okay. Whatever you say.
Yeah, they devalue
Cincinnati
because they want
Bengals.
more money out of it.
He won't build another stadium. He won't put the shit in a better. They've been trying to get him to put that stadium in a better neighborhood. He won't do shit.
Y'all cooking that. Y'all going down the street. I'm going down. That's why I'm trying to throw
Go
the
He
ahead.
ain't
tangent
got
on.
the money.
Watch this.
We
The
do have
Cincinnati
money.
Bengals have reached. The
Go
Cincinnati
ahead,
Bengals
Pop.
have reached a preliminary agreement for 185 million in improvements to Paycor Stadium for 2026. The new field turf core system will be installed in time for the entire 2024 season. 185 million dollars, right? Watch this. Under the policy documents, the city will pay 650 million towards the renovation of Bank of America. Now you see the difference between Tepper's renovation
Yep.
Yeah.
compared to
Yep.
Cincinnati, who's taking forever just to get turf. It's gonna take
Yep.
them this whole all season just to get turf. We did that in 3 months,
I ain't buying
and
that
they
shit.
only putting up 185 million dollars in Cincinnati when the
Great
state
perspective, Poppy. Great
when the
perspective.
state of
No, I
Charlotte.
agree with you. I agree
I
with
know,
you
Nick,
what the team is worth.
Nick. We passed that part, Nick. We're not getting on you per se. We're just talking about the marketing of that team. That's all we're saying.
That dude trash.
This it looks like this Cincinnati is only putting up 185 million, where Charlotte, which is smaller than Cincinnati, 185 million. I mean, 650 million dollars.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Yep.
Charlotte.
Knicks.
Every team may create an equal, bro.
That's
I
one
promise you.
this.
I
Listen, the
don't
Knicks.
believe.
But
The
it is
Knicks.
also the location
The Knicks
because
got one of the worst owners in the NBA, right? Y'all can agree, right? Right, Swam? We got one of the
Yeah.
worst owners. But guess
Yeah.
what, though? He can sell that team for whatever the fuck he want to sell it for. Why?
Whatever. Exactly. It's
Why?
in New York
Because
City.
it's
It's
New
in New
York.
York fucking City.
And he
That's
got
it.
100 buyers waiting on it.
Man, he had to interview all the motherfuckers, bro. Every people from China,
Elon gonna buy it.
all over the world is trying to get that team.
Musk. Elon Musk would buy that one.
Yeah,
You see what
Elon gonna buy it.
Oh no, hey, y'all, I don't know why y'all even doing that one. Elon ain't getting in nothing right now. Elon losing money.
Man, get out of here. Get out of here, Nick.
We ain't
Get
going
out
down that
of
road.
here.
Listen.
I
We
doubt
ain't
he
going
loses
down that
money.
road.
I'm gonna say
Get
my
out of
last
here,
comment
Nick.
about Elon.
No, what I'm
That road.
saying is all I'm saying. I'm not going down the political road. All I'm saying is that he's put bad publicity right now, so the other owners wouldn't want to vote him in.
It don't
Get
That's
matter.
out of
all.
here,
It don't
Nick.
matter.
There
But
you
at the
go.
end of the
So
day, you would take that money that Elon will bring in and be so happy he would get in. Trust me.
You're right.
Trust
That,
me.
Bruh,
that's how they opened the doors for David Tepper when he bought the Bengals, and he hadn't even drove to Charlotte. He hasn't even got in Charlotte, and they already said that he was on the financial committee
You
for the organization.
damn right.
He
He
hadn't
don't
even
listen.
need
walked
no
in the
help.
building yet.
He don't
Do you
need no help.
Swim, do you remember when motherfucker said, Ain't nobody gonna buy the Clippers. So what?
I remember that shit.
Yep.
I remember
Huh?
that shit. I remember hearing that.
What? Justin, do you know where the Los Angeles Clippers play? In Los
Thank you.
Angeles.
Thank you.
What? Who sat there in the bottom? Motherfucking Microsoft owner, bro. You knew what was going down, bro.
Yep. Build it and
Man,
they will come.
location
See through it.
matters, bro. It
And
matters.
all, and not only not only that, they
Y'all
also
don't
got a
want to
stadium.
miss.
They also got an arena built too. Shit, they
Listen,
making money
Yeah.
hand over
it's
fist.
crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to hear this. And I know this might get some started between Poppin and Swarm, and Poppin know where I'm going. But it's the difference between Charlotte and Atlanta. It's the difference.
It is a difference. It is a
It is
difference.
the fucking difference.
Slight.
A
It is.
huge
It is.
difference.
I ain't got nothing to argue with Red about on that. I mean,
Okay, there you go. Then it's the difference. Now, if I'm arguing with a different set of people, you know, that's Charlotte Bell, and you know, nah, man,
Right.
Atlanta ain't got nothing that bullshit.
They ain't logical minded, man.
That's not logical.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so maybe Atlanta might have some shitty fans. That's all I can say.
Oh
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because
They act like they
it's like they
done won
don't show up
something.
to
They
y'all
won
games.
shit.
Yeah. Now the Braves games we sold out, but they are like, you know, they show up to the Falcons. I don't know about the Falcons, but the
Hawks
Hawks
like a
games,
fashion
Claire's,
show.
they don't even show up to them shits.
Nah.
put Claire's to join up there. Yeah, I remember this.
Li-
All right.
Listen, so I pulled up the thing based on no chart. So the thing said, it says,
You just not gonna give up, are you?
Ooh, Aries just got
Nick, let it
checkmate.
go, bro.
Aries just checkmate you, Nick.
You ain't got to win every one, Nick. Damn.
Now wait a minute. Wait,
what are y'all talking
Jerry,
about? There's no checkmate.
Jerry Richardson sold it to Tepper. He was offered more money by the guy in Charleston, South Carolina, but Tepper promised him that he wouldn't move the team.
Right.
So that's why
that was part of the negotiation.
Yeah,
Jerry could have got a lot more off of it.
Which that's where the highest was 2.8.
Right.
That's what the guy in South Carolina offered him.
Oh, that's big. That's big loyalty to the city.
Then that's what. That's what.
No. Let's not get over that. Man, I ain't trying to get on you, but I gotta get on you. Van said that the team was not valued, not even $2 billion. It's saying right here the team was valued at 2.1. So
it was valued at 2.1 billion per Forbes.
Yeah,
at the time it was reported the range.
Sure did say that, Pop. Yep.
The range he could sell it for was an average of as low as 2.3 billion, which is what it ended up becoming, to as much as 2.8.
All right.
That's just per Forbes. So I mean, unless Forbes has it wrong,
Forbes is not it's not the law. It's not the law. It's not the law. And it says the next NFL team, potential NFL team, will sell for.
Forbes down, Claire. Do you hear this motherfucker?
I mean, it's not. It's Forbes ain't guaranteed model. You know that, right?
That dude,
guaranteed model.
That dude is
it's not a guaranteed model because Forbes don't. Forbes doesn't have a. Forbes does not have 100% of anybody's assets.
You got 10 seconds to name a more valid one than Forbes right now. Go,
dude. I'm gonna put this in perspective for you. Elon Musk is not the richest person in the world.
3, 2,
What's that got to do with the price of eggs?
Elon Musk is not the richest person in the world. I know that for a fact.
I gave you 10 seconds to name a.
I know that for a fact.
Okay, my bad. I'm through, man. I ain't finna argue with Nick over this.
I'm just putting in there what I'm finding because Forbes was the only one who had anything out on this. I couldn't find anyone else who was really talking about it.
I wonder why, Aries.
Claire, don't do that, Claire. Don't give him room. Don't give him room.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Man.
Well, listen. I'm going to tell you. No. Red. It's an AI model that does the evaluations based on what they believe. It's the truth.
You know what, Nick?
I can pull up what the AI does. I can pull up what the AI does verbatim.
She gave us some
verbatim.
reference. She gave us some
I'm
reference
not
before.
saying that it's. I'm not saying that she is wrong, but I am telling you, You are using a model that is based on that can't track everything.
Lord have mercy.
Then
You're
what
using
model?
a model. It only
Nick,
can track the assets that are publicly traded.
He ain't
That's
gonna
all
do
they
it,
can
AC.
track.
He ain't gonna
They
name one,
can't.
AC.
They
He ain't gonna name one.
They don't have access to these people's actual
Get his
bank
ass,
accounts.
AC. Get him,
I'm not
AC.
even trying to, because this is becoming a little ridiculous. Not you, Nick, but just the fact that we're having to go back and forth about something so silly.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as this goes, Nick, then what model would there be that you are aware of?
There is no model because you can't.
Okay, but then Nick, that's kind of my point. That's kind of my point. We can only do it based off of valued projections. Forbes is the only one who offered any kind of, actual valid evidence as to what it was. Because if you want to try to dig back that far to find somebody who can get anywhere near what it was, and they even have a chart that shows what the average value of each NFL team
but I'm not.
was.
That's not what I'm saying, Claire. I'm not saying that is wrong.
Greek.
What I'm saying is that it doesn't have.
Nigga here, boy.
It doesn't.
Lord of mercy, Jesus.
But I can pull up the doctrine that says that the next NFL team will sell for. I can pull it up right now. It's the artificial intelligence model. The same thing that Forbes is doing. Same thing that Forbes is doing.
And I get that. And I get that.
Damn boy, hell boy. I'm telling you.
But everything.
Are you related to G Baby?
Yeah, he got me.
He might be Pickle. He might be Pickle.
Well, I mean, I just want you to know I work on AI models. I work on AI models, so I know how they work.
Here we go.
We're done with this. We are fucking done with this. Claire, move on. Next subject. Claire, go ahead. Next subject.
Okay.
Boy, your mama, I know you got a lot of ass whoopings growing up. but you pull up stuff that's like it's doctrine. It's not doctrine. It's a projection.
No.
But okay, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, why does it matter?
Nick, the only dude, got his ass whooped as a child and still kept talking shit after he got his ass whooped.
Mama, I never said this to the toy. I said that.
My brother used to do that, and my dad whooped that boy twice over running his lip, and he still talked. My dad went out, looked at me, and said, "Go to the building and get my duct tape." Now at that point, I said, "Yes, sir," and I went out to run to the building, and my dad duct taped that boy's mouth.
I'm sure. Pickle's probably telling the truth. I've heard some stories.
My mama says, "You touch him, and I'll whoop you." I just
Let's go, Claire. Let's go, Claire. I'm so damn ready to be.
So this, I'm just okay.
Woo, that was rough, y'all.
I'm glad I was on the sidelines for most of that conversation up until. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was not even about to say, "Coach." I was fine being on the bench.
I'm sorry, popping. Hey Nick, I'm fucking with you though, man. Don't take this personal.
Yeah, it's taking personal because it's a waste of time.
It's crazy.
That's a waste of time.
It's crazy how Pop called this nigga banned, right? And we know what banned means. But this nigga be talking so much that he get banned from every show.
Oh my god. You living up to your nickname. Oh man.
Listen, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
So this is.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
Go ahead, AC.
No, this. Here we gonna have some more arguing coming. Mistaking a wish for a certainty. And that's my topic. Why tempering expectations for another season should be the approach for fans, as the team is still developing its identity, roster, culture, and standards. The winning mentality versus the win now mentality conversation needs to be had.
Well, let's have it.
Oh Lord, I don't know. Everybody's all ramped up after talking about Forbes and shit. Jesus Christ.
Now break it down. Now break it down to us.
Okay.
What are you asking with this?
So as far as what I'm asking or what I'm looking at, I'm going to just try to put stuff in the most rational perspective I possibly can. What have we been hearing? Not from every fan, because we've earlier we were called anti-Bryce or whatever. So it's not every podcast is talking this way, but
we are. We are.
And it's not about Bryce. This is just as a collective. This is about the team as a whole. We have said for how many years we've had a losing season. We're tired of waiting around. We just want to win, right? Something that we also do in the off season a lot is the moment that a certain player puts on our colors. We just think they are the most awesomest, greatest. I think every fan does that. But either way, I'm talking about just Panthers fans. Why I'm saying to tamper your expectations or, for another season. We just finished 5-12. We have a shit ton of question marks still on this team. I want to sit here and ride out this whole thing of we have the 5th easiest schedule, whatever. And we look a little bit more put together. We got some answers for the defense, especially. We've did our thing for the offensive line last year. We're in the right direction. But what I'm starting to get a little irritated by, and maybe this is just a personal thing, is mistaking a wish for a certainty. We would love and wish to see Bryce Young develop into the number 1 QB that we drafted him to be. We want to see this wide receiver core take leaps, not jumps, leaps. We want to see this defense not be ranked 32 and preferably be at least somewhere middle of the pack, if not higher. We want to wish for these things. But where I think fans are mistaking a wish for certainty is that they think that because of all these things, that things like making the playoffs, that winning the division, possibly making it to the Super Bowl, because I keep hearing that now, are just going to happen. I think we really need to talk about the winning mentality and the win now, and why I do not believe the win now mentality is not necessarily the right way to go about how we look at the 2025 season.
Who wants to start, man?
It can be anybody. And if you need explanation on what the winning mentality versus the win now mentality is, let me know. I can explain it.
I repeat now.
We stupid? Wait, hold up.
No, because some people may not know. Some people literally may not. I mean, because there's nuances, there's explanations to each one.
I'm with you, man.
So,
in case you didn't know, Kitty said, "Oh yes, my bitch, do it for me."
I'll jump on this. I understand. I think what she's saying, because as C3, I tried to be the even guy. All right, I won't let him. I tried not to let him get too high on Bryce, not to get too high on one player. I'm always knocking it down, saying every free agent gets released. Oh, he's going to come here. He's going to come here. I went off on him here a while back, and they said that Jair Alexander was coming to Carolina because there's rumors. I said, so the rumor is because he grew up in Charlotte or near Charlotte.
Yeah,
that's just bullshit. And
they said
I tried to keep everybody kind of even killed. It don't really work, but I tried, and because that's just the way I see it. I have seen many of veterans come on this team with people praising them up one side and down the other, how great they were going to be. And in the end, they were either average or below average, and were shitty while we were here. There's a lot of excuses. Everybody that's ever been on this team has an excuse. Oh, I was hurt. Oh, I wasn't trained. Oh, it's the coach. Oh, the trainer bit my ass. Something, whatever.
The trainer bit my ass.
Is an excuse. I get so sick of the excuses, because that's all it is. If I'm paying you $3 million to come in here and rush that passer, do not tell me that you can't because somebody's in your way. Well, knock them the hell out, stupid. You're a professional or an idiot. Look like an idiot. We just cut your ass. Move your bitch ass home.
Yeah,
so
Clowny.
I understand exactly. But at the same time, there are people, if you tell them this team's going to suck and they have to get over it, they just turn everything off. And
Hey,
that's
Yep.
just what they have to go.
hey,
So
Pop,
some
look at
people,
this.
this is their livelihood. So,
Look at this motherfucking Nick, man. He won't leave the shit alone. He's still typing the shit up in the chat, man. The fuck is wrong with this dude, man?
I think Nick is missing what we're saying. We know that there's always room for
And we
negotiation
ain't
for the
going back
price
to that shit. That's why
the
I ain't
prices
reading this shit.
for prices. I mean, you can get somebody can get got easily overpriced. That's why you had guys in the mall selling fake jewelry. You can get got. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get got, and somebody just want to
I
pay
didn't.
you
I didn't
above,
say a word. Remember, y'all brought it up. I can still type in the chat if I want to.
We know.
we just
I'm minding my business.
we were just saying.
Nick, are you an only child?
No, he's not.
Oh shit, my fault, Swarm. I ain't even see you, bro. Hey, look, I Swarm, you see this shit? You see this shit? He wouldn't let this shit go, so he started typing it in the chat.
Oh God.
I'm minding my own business. See, y'all the one with y'all feelings hurt.
The prowling veteran, also known as
prowling veteran.
Forbes Light. That's what he is.
Forbes Light.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That shit
All I'm
is
just
sweet,
saying,
man.
man. Hey,
Forbes
you can say what you want to
LITE.
say.
Yes, thank you, Claire. He actually went out and took the time to type that shit up. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You're ashamed of yourself, bro. He just
Yes.
would. Like, y'all might be done talking about it, but I'm not.
Yeah. And no, Edge, he is not an only child. His older brothers and sisters used to beat his ass up
For
regularly.
real. When mom and dad got tired of whooping his ass, like, I'm gonna get him myself.
Yeah.
My
This is
older
why we
brother,
say this is
my
why we
older
say
brother is
grind
up there
because
with you, so I didn't really have to worry about that type of stuff.
Oh Lord.
So y'all said with me. So if Nick's older siblings was getting their ass whooped, Nick wasn't even in trouble. But
he was just talking
woken up,
and watching.
woken up and going, I don't even understand why you beat them because technically, and then who get their ass whooped next? No, who get their ass whooped?
But I do want y'all to realize I've never gotten a beating for the same thing more than once.
Man, whatever, man.
Extremely smart.
I don't
Your
believe
parents
it.
are your ass, bro.
I can 100% guarantee
Hey,
you.
hold on.
That's the
Hold
reason
on.
why.
I
Extremely
believe him,
smart and
Red.
won't quit
Red, I
running your
believe
mouth.
him. He didn't get whooped for the same thing twice.
Never.
He just kept doing other stuff.
Coming up with more shit.
I ain't gonna say I didn't do other stuff, but I never the same thing.
Hey, back to Claire's topic, man. Look, so
You the one brought this other topic up. I was minding my own business.
I bet you talking about it again.
What was the question all over again?
See? You see?
There it is. So she said, making a wish for certainty while tempering expectations for another season should be the approach for fans as the team is still developing its identity, roster, culture, and standards. The winning mentality, basically saying, fan base with the winning mentality versus the win now mentality. How fans want it to happen tomorrow, opposed to fans that say, let's watch this team build and get great or get good. You know what I'm saying? See how it goes each year, by continuing to add talent, then build it the right way, opposed to motherfuckers like Pickle just said. You got
Let's go
people
get Jair Alexander and Jalen Ramsey and all of
them. Anytime a fucking free agent becomes available, then we do a whole show about it, man.
and everybody wanted us to go get Trey Hendrickson. It's like, oh my God.
I'm gonna let you know. I don't want like those names like Ramsey, Trey Henderson, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I could agree with it that Jair Alexander was an interesting prospect because you probably don't have to pay him that much money
because of what he's owed.
Because of what he's owed, and he's probably just trying to get on the team. And I mean, he knows his injury history. He's not dumb.
Nick, Nick, I finally figured out who you are, bro.
I don't agree with that.
I finally figured out who Nick is. Nick is Howard Jr. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So can I say this, Nick?
Go ahead.
Nick's point when it comes to Jair Alexander, I think either his medicals aren't checking out, right? that there's a possibility of that because teams can now see them because he's no longer under contract with the Packers, whereas when he was, other teams could not get a look at his medicals. So either his medicals aren't warranting signing him right now, or he's talking to teams. His representatives are talking for teams, and they're in a bidding war for his services right now. He ain't going nowhere signing for a league minimum because he's considered an elite cornerback, a top 3 to top 5 cornerback. If his medicals check out, he's gonna get a big contract on top of the guaranteed money that the Packers still owe him.
Right.
I don't know.
He ain't signing on the cheap. If he's healthy, he ain't signing on the cheap.
No.
I want to
answer this.
I don't know. We don't know. We're all. It's all speculation for us because we don't know what his medical history is. Just like what Ray is saying.
Started out by saying that. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
So I want
if he's 100% healthy, I would agree with you, Red. But since I don't know that, I'm just going off of the fact that he got that he basically got paid whatever.
Man, the man don't want to be there. He don't want to be there. He's not. He's
go back into the
direction. I don't want to
question.
go on Jair Alexander, but I do want to ask Red 2 questions because what he might say will definitely help when I'm going to respond to this.
Fuck about Jair Alexander.
Red, have your coach been asked what is the culture of your team and what Falcons are? Has he been asked that yet?
Hold up, Pop. You clicked off for a second. Just repeat that.
I was going to ask Red 2 questions because it's going to help me answer this or respond to this introduction. Red, has your coach been asked what is the culture of your team and what is the identity of your team yet? Has he been asked that question yet?
When he first got hired last year, he said he knew what the culture of Atlanta is, and what he was coming to. Also, because he had been there before. So, but what he said, the way he defined it is he said it's built in brotherhood. It hinges on teamwork, and they look to connect with the Atlanta community. But when he talked about what he wants from his players, he wants smart, tough, and competitive players. Simple.
Did he answer with the identity?
What nothing.
Did he say
what
the identity? Did he say what the identity of the team is though? Like the actual Falcons team, what the identity is?
I see. Hey, Pop. I see where you're going with this. This is brilliant.
And physical, which is what every team says.
Okay, stay right there, Ray. Appreciate you answering that. When my coaches ask that, he says he doesn't know yet.
We don't.
Okay.
We do not.
So I have a problem. I have a problem with that because it starts with the coach. It starts with the GM will answer it, but the head coach answer is totally different. Even though they might be aligned, he says, I don't know yet until they actually get out there and play the game to maybe game 5 or 6. So between 4 and 6, then he'll know exactly what the identity of the team. I don't know yet. And I have a problem with that. So how can I, as a fan...
But do we know what the identity of our team is yet? We don't. It hasn't happened yet.
That's my point. You are kind of leading into my point. A crap ton.
So I think it starts. We're
just still throwing ideas out, and trying to see what works and see what sticks.
Right.
What sticks?
But in this phase, it's a developmental phase. At that point, this is kind of where I'm getting getting on fans because everyone's going to fan however the hell they want to fan, and I'm not here to tell you to do anything different. The reason why I'm approaching this season the way I just laid it out is the fact that we have no identity, which is part of the foundation that you need to be able to build a successful team. We have no culture status. Unless you want to talk to Dan Morgan, he says he wants dogs. That's at least something. But is that everything? No, it's not.
It's not.
That's just where it starts.
Is our roster complete? No, and that's one of the biggest question marks in my opinion. A lot of people love this roster. I do too, but there are so many question marks. We don't. That's why I said mistaking a wish for a certainty. Just because it looks great, where's Petey Quick? On paper does not mean it is a guarantee. Oh, because of this, and this, we're definitely going to have 10 wins. How?
Yeah, so
because we have the fifth easiest schedule. I mean, that's a great way to look at it, and it's great to be optimistic. But what I get tired of is the same fans who get all happy when we end up going 5-12, or we're like 1-5 in the beginning of the season, are the same ones that will drag every player through the mud that they just praised through the whole off season.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why I'm saying Tampa. You have to look at what requires, but my thing, I know, but at the same time, you have to look at this foundationally from not only a business standpoint, but as you are building an NFL team. I get what did the Rams do? Someone said that they bought a Super Bowl. What is it? The Rams that did that shit with the whole Jared Goff
and Tampa too,
or whatever.
And Tampa,
so
Tampa
true, and that's great. And ever since they bought, air quote, that Super Bowl, have they been back?
Not back to Super Bowl, but they've been winning. They haven't a winning season,
right? And that's great. And that's great. But what a lot
they didn't build a culture
that's great. But here's my thing: I know Panthers fans want a Super Bowl so bad because we've gone twice and we've lost twice. I get it. But what you are wanting to work towards, eventually, what every team needs to be working towards is not just let's go get that one ring, and then if we're bad for another 25, 50 years, who gives a shit? What most want is like a dynasty. You want to look at what the Chiefs are doing, how the Eagles are building is a fantastic model. I think you could, even some teams that have made playoff berths, back to back and are consistently there, are even models that you could look at for moving forward, even if they haven't made it to a Super Bowl yet. But you cannot look at the Panthers right now and tell me at any point in their how long have we been? 30 years? Have we hit that? Okay.
Yes, 30, yes.
Can you tell me at what point would you have picked a period of time of at least 5 years where you could go, that's the model we should follow? Name me a time frame in the Panthers history where you can pick a 5-year time period where you can say that is a model that every team should follow.
We ain't got that.
There is no model. There is no model.
That's the whole point.
Even the 15.
If the GM and the coaching are saying two different things. The GM seems he wants dogs, he wants fast, he wants intelligent, he wants family men, a unit of guys that could teach and grow with each other. But Canales, I haven't heard Canales actually say anything that's letting me know that the team is built in his likeness.
Because Dan Morgan is a former player.
He knows what it's trying to see if something sticks, and if it does, we'll keep it.
I want to say something.
Okay, well, because as far as what I've seen one player get what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen another coach lose players, and job is on the line because they didn't extend them.
I've seen a model though. It was just by mistake though. We didn't try to do that. But
one point we had a culture where
hold
it was
on,
hard
let Poppin finish.
One time we did have a culture where it was good defense, mediocre offense, but we could still get it done because we were able to change our game depending on who was playing. If we just needed to run the ball all game, we had the backs that could do it. We didn't care if the game was 9-7. We had enough grit and balls to sit here and ground pound it with you. We have gone totally away from that. So we did have a culture at one point. We had a certain type of offense, a certain type of defense that we run. Now I don't know because my head coach and my GM are saying two different things. So we don't have an identity.
Our
Well,
culture
right.
was, as Pop says, our culture was always that two-back system,
yeah.
Yeah.
especially on offense. And we used to always have two backs and a nasty defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why I said we did it by accident, I did see a blueprint, was 2015. Because everybody, we didn't have all the glamorous players, but we just talked about that earlier. You don't have to always have the best players. You just have to have the players on your team that are committed to doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, and buying in as a team. You ain't got some guy out there going, I need the ball all the fucking time. That was in 2015. None of those receivers complained, did nothing, or didn't. They rooted each other on. It was by accident because we didn't have a superstar receiver on that damn team, man. And it worked. It fucking worked.
There's a reason why they say it's lonely at the top.
Because when you start getting a bunch of superstars on the team, then you start dealing with a bunch of egos. We're seeing it right now, like I said earlier, in the NBA fucking finals. Indiana ain't got no damn superstars. I mean, look, OKC got one.
Technically, they got two.
Well,
a good team, though.
One culture that's been around for the last couple of years that I can't stand in the Carolina Panthers is hurt players getting paid and we keeping them. If you ain't producing, that I don't want you here. That's why I'm glad certain people. I didn't want to pay Tommy Tremble. I'm sorry, Ian Thomas. I didn't want you either because you stayed hurt. There's been several players that I didn't want getting paid or staying here because you haven't produced, and that seems to be a culture here too. We've never had this many people hurt ever in Carolina Panthers.
This is shit I can't stand now though. We'll take a player on a bad team, right? And because they do a few things okay during the season, then we'll be like, well, this is the best we've seen in a while. Yeah, I'm talking about fucking Coker. And then we'll fall in love with Coker and say shit like he's the best wide receiver on the team. Because we have gotten so used to cheering for mediocrity until we don't even realize talent when we see it. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Coker is not all that to me. I want him to ball out, but if he don't, he was an undrafted player, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him being a household name in the future. We giving motherfuckers who didn't even get picked up in the regular draft nicknames, cokeheads and all this other shit. What? Really, at the end of the day, what the fuck has Coker done? He ain't done shit.
400 something yards and 2 touchdowns.
Don't say that. Don't say that when your boy G baby. I'm not G baby. What's called around? Because he gonna make it seem like that mug is like
Creekside.
the next coming.
Well, here. Go ahead, Poppin. No. You continue. You were on a roll. Continue.
As far as Coker, I think he's probably the best undrafted player we've seen in Carolina Panther history in a long time. You had Brent Burson.
I'm glad he put the stipulation on it. Undrafted.
That's what I'm saying.
Charlie Brown looks better than Brent Burson.
So for him to be in the situation he was and to be around competition that he was around, which wasn't the greatest competition, but still, I can't say too many bad things about him because when you needed him, he was there. He didn't drop balls. He ran his route. He did what he was supposed to do. So hats off to him. My only thing is I don't think his ceiling is that high. That's my only critique on him.
This is what I'll say to you though, Pop. This is what the cynical say, and so I'm gonna be the second and say it. You know, it's just dialogue. I ain't trying to attack Pop's point, but we know this is what people are gonna say. They're gonna say, "Did we win as a result to whatever he brought to the team?"
No.
Did he make us better?
No, but you can't say that to him because you go as your quarterback go.
No, but I'm saying people are gonna ask that question. He didn't make. Look, man. If he had a season where he just stood out, I get it. He didn't stand out.
Well, CMC stood out, but we only had like a 5-something
Exactly.
win.
So my thing is, sometimes when you have a superstar player on your team, it ain't best for you to have that guy on your team. Because what did we do? We ran everything through CMC. 5 wins.
Yeah, how'd that work?
5 fucking wins.
It got us nowhere.
I don't need
Exactly.
Kobe to be a superstar. I
No.
need him to keep doing what he's doing. I think he's a good addition to the team because
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he's taking the new role of Mr. Third Down. I know
Yeah.
he's going to catch that
I'm
ball.
cool with that. Just don't look.
Yeah.
You know, the best. Y'all saw it for yourself. I'm gonna let Pickle go. Y'all saw people the best. They said he was the best wide receiver on the team.
No.
No.
I
No, I
hate to
can't
say
say
it.
that.
I hate to say it. And as much as people love Tet, if you look at it right now as it stands in theory on paper, however you want to look at it, the best wide receiver on our team is Adam Thielen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Say what you want.
Because he's proving it. Because
Still,
he's fucking
he
proving it.
still is. He still
He
is.
still is. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, until we see what Tet does, or if Excel improves, or if Jalen Coker makes a step forward, if Hunter Renfrow makes the team and he can come back to some kind of true form, if Jimmy Horn actually gets time, that's not being a return guy. That's kind of my point. Adam Thielen, for all intents and purposes, is currently right now the best wide receiver we have. But to continue on with what my point is, this is the other thing, and I'll just add it. I'll just add this point to it.
That's going to change this year, though. I'll say that, though. That's going to change.
What? Oh, as far as Adam Thielen being the best wide receiver, and it should. But you know what, Twan? It should change.
And
Excuse me, it should change. It needs to change, because if it doesn't change, then we've wasted some picks. So again, but the biggest thing for me in all this is the biggest thing for me in all this is fans either asking or just wanting players who, even though I get they love and pound the table for, all you are asking is for in a league of however many players there are. On our team, there are a lot of players that we love that would not even be starters on other teams. And we only ask for those players to just be less be less mediocre.
One more time. We got players on our team that wouldn't even
be starters on other teams.
They don't understand that though, bro. They don't understand that.
And here's and this is the biggest thing. We need to stop asking for mediocre players to be less mediocre, and we need to start asking for players who are good and great on this team to become greater. And if we can't do that, then we are going to perpetually stay in this, well, we only got 5 wins. We only got 7 wins. Well, you need to start assessing your roster. And don't just say, well, it's because, he's a good guy. He's a locker room guy. You can find locker room guys who are also productive on the field. It ain't hard.
And I ain't gonna lie,
because there are too many. There are too many other teams.
I fall in love with underdogs.
I've fallen in love with underdogs. I have fallen. We all do it. We all do it. But at the end of the day, this is me calling out everybody. It's not just certain fans. It's not just certain podcasts. It's everybody. It's myself. We have to literally look at this from the most rational point of view and be honest. At this point in time, does it even realistically sit with you in your minds now that we've had this conversation? Does it even? And if you want to know, Poppin, Dave Canales' response to a lot of this, and I hate this phrase because it's used everywhere. It's so vague and it's so generalized and mainstream, is trust the process. I can't tell you how much I cannot stand hearing that. It irritates the shit out of me.
Super.
Hey, Joel Embiid's been saying trust the process for 10 years. That shit ain't amount to nothing.
It's not been shit. So the fact that has become the adopted slogan,
in the process.
but the fact that has become. But the fact that has become the adopted slogan for our head coach right now, I guess until he gets whatever he wants figured out, a team in his own vision, a team in his own right, that's the only thing right now with Canales that other than him saying we're going to run the ball and we haven't, we need something.
He's basically
saying something.
He's basically saying to be bad. You know what I'm saying? No, bro, look, the NFL is not for long, bro. For every position, every job, every player, you got to be successful right away. You got a time, you got a clock. The minute you sign your contract, there's a clock, and it goes for coaches and players, bro. We ain't got that's why we all thought it was bogus for motherfucking Matt Rule to come out here and tell us, man, this gonna take 7 years. Motherfucker, please, bro. 7
if
years.
you don't at least have it figured out by year 3 as a coach, and you are not on that trajectory upward freight, you are out of here. You are.
Aries,
but the thing, go ahead.
Dare I say this? And I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna get the bullshit one out first.
Okay.
The first one is because you know what I'm saying. I like going for the underdog. I think John will have more explosive, meaningful plays than Coker will this year if he stays healthy. That's
we're talking about Coker again. Oh, I thought we were off that. Okay.
No, I said Jimmy Horn. I said
Jimmy Horn. I was like, I thought we were off this Coker thing.
I said more explosive, meaningful plays than if he stays healthy. Mm-hmm. My number 2 thing there that I say,
we gotta get Pickle and Swarm in there at the pop.
I still don't believe Canales believes in Bryce Young. I think he's just going with the go along.
I don't even want to. I was not. I didn't want to open that can, but go ahead.
I'm just going to agree with it. I
go along, get along.
Yeah.
Go along, get along game because it's him versus everybody else, and you don't want to be the odd man standing out.
Well, Pop, guess what? I don't feel sorry for Canales because it's your job on the line, and if your ass sit by and be quiet and don't say nothing, it's on you.
Well, I don't feel bad either, but he has an ace in the hole because all he's gonna say is, "That ain't my quarterback."
Hey, but that ain't
he's still good.
That don't mean set the temper.
I'm true, but do not be shocked, y'all. I put this in a Discord chat, and then I'll let Pickle and Swarm and everybody go. I put this in a Discord chat not that long ago. Bryce, to me, if I'm Canales, just based off, because Poppin was picking up on some things I was going to talk about in another show, but we'll just hint on it now. I think for Canales to truly be sold on Bryce Young being the starter, Bryce is going to have to do something that he has not done. He might have done it in college, but I mean, he's going to have to do something so unprecedented. He's going to have to win the division. He's going to have to make the playoffs. And all those things could happen. This is not me saying it can't. But what I'm telling you is that if you've got a head coach who obviously does not fully trust Bryce, and the fact that there are so many variables that go into what would need to happen for that to occur, if we have no culture or set identity, we don't have anything like that. That's why I don't know why it irks me, but when I hear people say we're making the playoffs or we're going to the Super Bowl, it's like, I get your fandom, but where do you see that happening? What evidence do you have to substantiate a claim as such when we don't even have it all together yet?
Well, they're gonna base off what the team did against Atlanta.
We don't even know it.
No, because the reason why I say that is because the playbook got opened. The playbook got opened up
for one game.
Happened. Yes,
for one game.
It's for one.
Oh my God!
It's for one game, but that one game showed up. That one game did show a lot. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, I'm going for Bryce. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the fans saw something that they haven't seen Young do since the Green Bay game. Even though we lost that Green Bay game, we haven't seen him do something since that game, was actually put the team on his back and actually do something with it. Even in the losing effort, he did something with it. That's what the people are going to base that off of, and that's what the fans are going to base it off of. And honestly, that's what probably some other people are going to base it off of in the coaching room as well. But at the same time, like I always say, analytics will get you fired. Unless we get you fired.
And Panthers for life. We're not speaking for Canales. We are making a speculated guess. I have no idea what Canales believes in. But if you want to speak your piece, feel free to come up here and counter us speaking and putting words in other people's mouths, I guess.
But I got a question for Panther for Life. Do you think that going into a new season, that Canales would sit up there starting a new season, would sit there and say Bryce isn't the guy right now? No,
he can't.
I don't think he
would.
Can and would is two different things.
It's facts, but he can't. He literally can't go up there and say that.
He can't. He can't go up there and say that.
Just like it's gonna be repercussions.
Okay,
for
the
him.
government can't
Panthers
sit
for
here and
life.
tell you certain things
We're-
that happening too.
Okay, I'm hold up because I'm stopping this shit right now. We are not about to turn this whole thing into a Bryce and what he did in Philly and she. I am so done with arguing and debating with people about that shit. I'm done. We're not talking about this game. I'm not doing this whole the last 8 games. He did this, he did that. I have heard this so many times. It is exhausting. So if you have any other things to talk about, let me know. Pickle.
Well, how about the
Your thought? No, I don't want to hear it. Pickle. No, Edge. Edge.
Well, you gotta start AC. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere with the turnaround.
Oh my God,
the only thing I'm gonna
Nick,
say is this:
I am tired and exhausted of arguing and talking about the same 2 to 3 games all off season.
Yeah,
Dear God Almighty!
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Everyone loves.
Yes,
he still lost.
He did.
Okay, that's at the end of the game. That's all that matters.
Thank you,
L
Pickle.
or W at the beginning
Dear
of the game.
God.
Now, if y'all want to go in detail, let's be real. Because I watched the game the other day. We lost that game because Xavier Legette dropped that pass.
You forgot about the interception?
Let me finish. I have waited for you people to get done gib gobbling about all your bullshit. So let me finish. Now, he wasn't the only one that made a mistake. By any means, he was not the only one. Now, but I'm not going into every little play on every little detail because it really doesn't matter. That was last year. This is this year.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not. So this year, a lot of people are saying that we're going to go to the playoffs just because they want it. That's all it is, just because they want it. And it's just a little fandom. And to them, it doesn't matter. It's not hurting anything. And I don't really care if they want to say we're going to the Super Bowl. I think it's jacked up. But, that's life.
We ain't going to no damn Super Bowl. Hell no.
In 2015, people said we were going to the Super Bowl. And I laughed at him. And I said, you ain't going to no fucking Super Bowl. I said the same thing in 2003.
Especially after we lost Kelvin Benjamin. I wasn't thinking that.
I wasn't thinking that at all either, my brother.
I'm not going to lie.
But we went both. We lost both. And if I had to make my others, I'd rather not go. I'm going to lose. I've lost before.
Oh, because of all the trends that is happening?
I don't want to go to the Super Bowl for just going to lose.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say something that Claire just tie in what Claire said. Bryce has to do something that you've never seen Bryce do, and I agree. It's like seeing the Pope being American. That's what you gotta see.
No, it's like seeing the fucking.
See, I don't think it's that complicated. For Canales to believe in Bryce. That's what I don't. You know what I'm saying? If Canales don't offer the contracts, somebody else does. And at the same time, Canales isn't safe himself.
He's not.
And so if we go out next year, at the end of next year, if we only win 5 games, a few folks are going to lose their job. Okay, that defeats the expectations.
I know Canales was in the hot seat, and you guys may say I'm reaching on this. I just think this. I don't know. I can't prove it. But when we saw the behind the scenes of the blueprint in that war room, they didn't reach. Unless we just didn't see it, but they didn't lean to him about hardly any of them damn picks. They was like, "This is who the fuck we gonna pick, and this is who you gonna take."
I think that's by design. I don't think that they included. I think by the design. I don't think it was the fact. I just think that Dan was the boss in that room, and it was his job. And now if Canales had an interest, he would listen. Just like if Tepper had an interest, he would listen. But at the end of the day, Dan called the shots, and everybody in that room damn well knew it. Now, I like that shit.
When Matt Rule was here, who was making the picks?
Well, and that's why Matt Rule
Right.
works for college again, and David
Exactly.
and Matt or Scott Fitterer
Yeah,
and
it's a collective
and
group now.
Marty Herney are both assistants somewhere. So
Man,
Yeah,
I
that's
felt
why it's
like
a
all the
collective group,
picks
and I think
was
Canales
Dan Morgan and
will
Tillis.
probably say too much, so they designed it where they didn't give you as much access of Canales talking. They probably chose him to keep a closed lip because you had Xavier Leggett just spraying up everything. Yeah. I met with the
I
team
told you that
briefly.
motherfucker had a big ass
Yeah.
mouth last year.
And Canales was kind of showing his, his colors too last year. So it kind of just, tell him to draw it back in a little bit.
Dave
By
told
design, as
me.
far as how they were shooting the footage, they made sure that they didn't clip anything that Canales was really saying. So I don't think he's in the hot seat.
I just want to say, Dave told me that he was gonna pick me up. For pick trade up. Shout out to Dave Morgan. I was like, man, why tell the whole fucking world that we gonna pick you? Now everybody can adjust.
y'all have a good one, y'all. I'm going to bed. Peace out.
All right, Pip.
Y'all over here talking about one. Any fan who's going based off of last season, they're dumb anyways. Because this is a whole different team. Two,
Why they gotta be
anybody who's going off the strength of schedule of an AI model based on wins and losses from
Oh,
last
here we
year is stupid.
How do we
We
get
be
back to
using
AI?
some harsh words, bro.
Stop going off of. You can't go off of last year. These are different teams, different people on the teams, some different coaches. Things change. You don't know that strength of schedule thing. I take it as a grain of salt. It's not law, not anything. All it is based on wins and losses from last year.
That's usually
There's some merit. There's some merit in
usually
what you're saying, Nick. There's some merit in
yeah.
there a little bit. There's a little bit of merit in there, but I don't know about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and say for Panthers for life. Look, mainly reason why I brought that whole thing up was because that's what you guys, the fans, would say on that whole purpose. All right, that's the reason why I brought it up, because people are gonna say, well, look what he did last year. Okay, look, we understand that, but as what me and Twan said during 2 seasons ago, when in the Green Bay game that we did lose, but he played a good game. Okay, do it again, but this time get a win. It took him a whole year and a half to do it again, but guess what? He did it again, and now he has a win. Now that we've seen a bad version of Young,
I want the wins a year and a half apart.
Getting over 300 yards but losing, and now we saw Young do it again and get 300 yards and win. Now we see what he can do in both aspects of this. Now we see what he can
consistently.
do.
Can I interject for a second?
Consistently. That's all we're asking for. That's it.
So can I say this? And I think it's a good.
We're gonna let Swarm have the last word, man. We're gonna let Swarm have the last word.
Where Ed's just left off at, man. I know, like Ed, you mentioned earlier, a lot of the enthusiasm of how the season ended, what Bryce did in the last game. I've heard people talk about what he did in the game against Arizona. They tend to sort of limit it to those last 3 games of the season. But I think in order for you, in trying to think about what Claire said about tempering expectations. Okay, so I say the same thing for my team. I have already adopted the mindset that I'm going to enjoy the ride this year. I think that Michael Penix,
bro.
Yeah, Michael Penix is a strong arm quarterback.
Like the Six Flags ride.
I think I really expect to see an explosive offense. I expect to see points put up. But until he beats somebody other than the New York Giants, until he does something more than go to overtime and lose in the last 2 games, until he does what Kirk Cousins has set out doing before he fell off the cliff, which is to take this same cast of personnel and sweep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, beat the Philadelphia Eagles. See, what I'm trying to say is, I know that people are impressed with what Bryce showed you in the
Is this
last
Red
3
Swarm
games.
talking?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let him
this
finish.
the realest statements
With
he's ever
what he
said.
Let him
did.
finish.
Let me hit it real quick though.
But you're not getting into the playoffs, and you're not going to win a playoff game until you start developing some consistency in beating playoff caliber teams. That's the key.
Facts.
That's the key. When you start talking about my quarterback is this, my quarterback is that, he's elite, he's in the MVP competition, okay, you talking shit. But he gonna run into some MVP caliber quarterback, and Josh, your boy from Buffalo, which every team in the NFC South got to play this year. He gonna run into some guys like that, and it ain't gonna just be about talk. It ain't gonna be about did we come close? Cause see, that's gonna be the difference between playing a tough game against Patrick Mahomes in a year that, if you ask me, everybody played Kansas City tough. It ain't gonna just be about that. It's gonna be, did you beat him? Did you stack enough wins to overtake Baker and the Buccaneers and win the South? That everybody thinks is a slouch anyway.
Right.
Hey, damn, bro. Look, on that note, look, man, I want to thank Poppin' Bullets for coming through. I called Pop up, told him to come through. He came through. Same thing with Swarm. I texted him, told him to come through.
Sir.
He came through.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
Shout
Greek. Thank you, man.
Shout out to Chuck for coming through, man. Shout out Nick Trostee for coming through.
Thank
Shout out
y'all
Panther
for having
Pickle
me, everybody.
for
Thank
coming
y'all.
through. Shout out JP for coming through. I think that's everybody, man. I think that's everybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fans, man. First of all, Kitty for coming through. Happy birthday, Kitty. Look, man. Shout out always #1 to the fans, the people in the chat, man. We ain't shit without y'all, man. No show of shit without y'all, man. So taking our time to listen to some guys talking about football, man, and this is what we love to do. It's incredible. It's crazy that, that people like this. You know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna always try to give y'all the best that we got, man. Go hit y'all with these shout outs, man, before we get up out of here. We'll start off with my man Poppin, represent the Black Hat Panther podcast.
Man, I don't know what to say, man. I just hope everybody enjoy their summer. Hope these professional athletes stay clear, stay out of trouble, stay healthy, come back. That's the best thing I can ask for right now as far as the team. I just want these guys to come back healthy, man, and finish healthy so we can have a full 100% competitive team going forward. We've been hit with the injury bug quite a lot the past couple of years, and I hope that has came to a halt because we need every man on deck. So other than that, man, y'all keep pounding.
Wise words been spoken by Poppin' Bullets right here, man. Look, man. Also, shout out to JJ Spawn yesterday, U.S. Open golf. Yes, I watch golf. I'm a golf fan. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
JJ Spawn, man, that was an incredible tournament. That last shot that man hit. If you watch golf, bro, if you know, that was incredible for that win, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a golf head, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Shout out to everybody that's out here, man, doing their thing and watching what, recommend some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watch something and enjoy it. Up next, man, the B, the A to the N. That motherfucker banned tonight. He blue shirted tonight. Give it to us, Nick.
Everybody can kick rock.
I know. We're all about the idiots,
was that also AI generated? What you just said? Just wondering.
Damn.
GTP.
What? That's not
GPT.
AI generated. Claire, that's not what I said.
Nick, my dog, well, boy, he can argue.
Yeah.
Nick, my dog,
right. Yeah, shout it out, bro.
Oh man, look, I thank everybody for coming on through, man. It was great. Hey, Panthers for life. Just to let you know, one, I've been a fan since '95.
Oh,
Okay,
don't give him the
so
time of day. You feeding into it now.
don't push in on me like that. As a matter of fact, the next time I do my show, a word edgewise, which you can find on here on the 704 Charlotte Bound Show, by the way. Come on through, man. We can have a great one-on-one debate conversation, and we can go ahead and get hash all this out, brother. I would love for you to be on the show as my guest. As a matter of fact, I request for you to be my guest on the 704 Charlotte Bound Show, a word edgewise. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Like, share, subscribe, hit all notifications, and don't miss the next show. Holla.
Yeah, man. Quick update before we let that first lady go. Twan versus Everybody season 3 is coming back, man. Already got about 6 people lined up. The sophomore roundtable is coming back, you know what I'm saying, in late July. When is that a spark? Right around the time, right before we get ready to start doing preseason games. We'll get into it, you know what I'm saying. I have a whole bunch of podcasters on the same network. Also, man, something I did not forget, and I'm giving y'all a little taste to the Twan versus Everybody. I talked to somebody that's on here right now that goes by the name of Mr. Poppin' Bullets. You remember what we talking about, Pop? Pop is going to do, so I'm finally going to do a Twan versus Everybody with somebody that's on our show. It's going to be First Lady, Mrs. Claire, but I'm not going to be interviewing her. It's going to be Mr. Poppin' Bullets.
Ah, yes, can't wait.
Oh Lord!
I figured, like, you guys know, me and Claire and Ez, and we all work together so much that it would be probably refreshing to have somebody from the outside come interview her. It'll be a much more intricate and raw, you know what I'm saying? I know Claire also well, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to make her cry, you know, when we get to the personal questions. You know.
Make me cry.
I think Pop gonna do it, man.
What the hell are you gonna be asking me?
I almost had a couple people, bro.
Oh no.
I almost had a couple. Nah, man, you know, but
no worries, Claire.
Look, I'm an ugly crier. Don't you start. I'm no.
Who's a pretty crier?
There's some people who are self-absorbed enough to think they are.
You're gonna have to spiff up that day because you're gonna have to be on camera. We don't do icons on Twan versus Everybody.
Oh God Almighty!
You know. But Claire, get us out of here.
Okay. Oh, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Pickle. Shout out to Chuck. Shout out to Nick Tri-State. Red Swarm, aka Blue Claw. I just love doing that to him. I don't know why. Poppin', Ban, aka Probably Veteran, aka Bearded Wonder, aka Nick, formerly known as Edge, Twan. This has actually been an eventful night. I'm so glad that the conversation about Bryce is over. There's going to be more to come. I'm dreading it already. Anyway, but shout out to y'all. It's been great. Thank you for joining us. You could have been anywhere tonight, but you chose to be here. And I just want to see this team get better. I have low expectations, but maybe that means that if it goes great, then I can be super freaking happy because I was wrong, and I will gladly eat crow happily if we actually do fantastic. So, but anyway, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Keep pounding.
704 Charlotte Bound Show. We see y'all next time.